to announce another $100 billion U.S. investment into America. Ahead of that, we actually have comments coming from the chief negotiator for Japan, whose name is Akazawa. He met today with Howard Lutnick, who is the U.S. Commerce Secretary, and he's saying apparently he met with Apple CEO Tim Cook during this meeting with Howard Lutnick. So interesting to see how this will impact Apple. Apparently, CEO of Apple meeting with Japan's top trade negotiator. Over to the guys in the afternoon show.
I was waiting for the pun.
What pun? What pun?
Tim.
Oh, yeah. I still hear Sharif's mic. Oh, it's Neil. All right,
Let
Neil's muted.
Tim Cook.
There we go.
Let Tim Cook. That's what it should have been. There's no chance I should ever give the obvious pun. The obvious puns should be Adara every single time, or Obi.
I mean, we're letting Apple cook. I mean, we're still long 208 right now, and it's cooking upside huge right now. I mean, we did not expect this kind of a move. We emptied most of our clip out for sure up here at 211. It got as high as 212 right there. There's 215. We're starting to get a little more pieces out. Our stopping zone right here is 214 break. So if you do watch out for that play. Oh, it still doesn't show us. Doesn't show our positions. Maybe I have to get in and out. So I just here. I'll take. I'll just add a couple shares here to my SM. There we go. Now it should show it. My SMCI position. Okay, there it goes. So I just added a little bit here at 15. So we're just going to go short on SMCI here against that level right there. We'll see if we can get some more. We just went short again. We actually had the short from 48s, and then we punched 46 break short. And we just now starting to add to it against VWAP. If it breaks higher, we're out, right? So out through VWAP 24, 25. But here was the Apple trade, again, starting off the day. And we don't have anything else. We have Rivian as well. We haven't done anything throughout the midday, honestly. I went for a walk after the show. It's and yeah, I thought maybe Nimrod was coming back. For lunch, was not. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, we'll see him again. But at the end of the day, was not there for that reshort. I think that would have been great. But anyways, nice downside play there for Rivian. We'll see if it can still hold off. But yeah, for right now, my newest position and only one of real concern is SMCI, just shorting it right here off of those levels. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. I hope that midday show was exciting. Heard them talking about a bunch of different names.
McDonald's, what they were talking about, it's like, first of all, who wouldn't like this chart on McDonald's? This is a monthly chart on McDonald's. That's pretty steady. Mm-hmm. Like this is the perfect example of, buy the dip. Buy the dip and everything's gonna be all right. The COVID dip was the only time in the last decade that it lost the 50-period moving average on a monthly chart. And it doesn't even bounce off it recently. So I almost said Microsoft. McDonald's, I don't know why Sharif was calling it the other thing, but McDonald's is steady Eddie, and it's not always the sexiest name out there. And right now, it's not moving. Like, you're gonna look at the daily chart and say, oh, that's dead money, which, look, I'm not gonna argue with the fact that it hasn't moved. Like, you're going sideways over the last year. But when you put it into a long enough time frame, you begin to realize that sometimes that's because these dips are ones that you hold on to. And yeah, I wish I had looked at this. I put some money in Amazon yesterday. We'll see how that one goes. But McDonald's, I'm loving it. And for everyone talking about that Happy Meal, what's the toy going to be? Isn't it more important? Like, first of all, like what would be in it? Like, I'm always hungry. Like, how is it a Happy Meal for adults? Like, what's the shtick there?
Yeah, like what's the benefit? That's what I was asking. Like, they already have like those value meals. They already have value like meal. The McChicken or whatever.
I'm just curious what the shtick.
Single burger.
Because we get McDonald's way more when they have a monopoly going on. Like my daughter, like when they have that going on, my daughter's like, oh, can we get McDonald's? Because it's a fun little game and it's cool with the family. I love the all-day breakfast, which is fantastic. Everyone knows they're also, it's the GLP effect is not necessarily the best. For them, but at the end of the day, like, who would you bet on in that space anyways?
We are now stopped out of SMCI. It breaks through 25, and there it goes right now through 46.25. So stop a fail on that last little reload there, but we're happy that the market's going higher right now for sure. I mean, look at this. The Nasdaq up 1.16% right now. I mean, climb, Nasdaq, climb. We have jobless claims tomorrow. so that should be exciting. I mean, I don't know if that adds fire to the fuel or not, but remember, the interest rate cut is for real. And now it's even more real than it was before. 93 now. We looked at it earlier, it was 91 or 92, 93. Neil looked at it, now 93.2. So looks like we are going to be getting, I'll just refresh just to see if that does anything. No, so real time there, the Fed has this going. But yeah, 93.2%. And then even in December as well, 50% chance now that we get all three by December. So that should be pretty cool if that does come through. And again, helping some of these interest rate sensitive sectors. We'll talk about all of those as we continue to go longer on basically major tech names. You nailed it with Amazon. That's had a huge move higher today as well. So there's SMCI. We just get stopped. I'm fine getting stopped out. I don't even care if that was the top. SMCI is having a great move back upside right now. One point was down 22 or 23%. Now down only 19%, but still trying to find some ways here is SMCI. Yeah, good day so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Decent close after our show with the reports coming, and we'll talk about some of those names as well. So
App Lovin' is worth
people are
tuning into, but like, whoa, this market is absolutely pumping to the upside. Nvidia wants to go. Amazon up 3.5%, as we mentioned. Like pretty much everything is flying. Well, almost everything is flying that I'm looking around at. I'm some stuff in the morning. Intel was actually no. I think I had this right. I think I got into it right at the end of the morning show, off the lower highs, and then Lucid is just a sympathy play to Rivian. We're in this one in the morning, and it's just sort of sitting here. Tried it through the break of the low, that didn't work, then shorted it off the high. It had one little dump into a fresh low, but it's not really moving. I have a trailing stop. If it breaks this brick wall that's sitting there at 21 for like 1 million shares on the offer, then I'll just jump out of it. But yeah, lots to watch here this afternoon, and of course the closing bell is going to be interesting. And Rachel Kleiman in the chat, what Yiddish dialect are you talking about? I am not aware of ever speaking in a Yiddish dialect, but if there's something I said that's Yiddish, then yay me, because I know no languages.
Nice one, Neil.
I got a little patois in there, but I usually, like, I can understand patois much better than I'll speak it, because I was born here.
Let's go over to Sharif and see what's on the rundown.
Yiddish? Like.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to join us in the chat and get in and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to throw that $ in before any ticker of your choice. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing as well, guys. Here's a look at all 4 major averages, and there's only one major average that's actually negative on the day. This is my world over here. The IWM down 0.14, small caps taking a hit, with the NQ really leading the way up 1.17, followed by the ES up a little more than 0.75%, and up 1/3% is the Dow. So good luck for most of these major averages on the day. Here's the first ticker, of course, as decided by you, AMD. No surprise there. Reported after the bell yesterday, and it was a revenue beat, but an EPS miss. Lisa Su saying the AMD, their chip, the MI355, is actually taking on Nvidia's B200 and GB200, guys, an AI test head on with being used by clients right now, OpenAI included.
That's the good news. The good news is OpenAI is staying committed to, AMD. I mean, despite the fact that everyone else, I shouldn't say everyone else, I mean, the market share Nvidia has is tremendous, and the comparison's not fair. Over 75% margins versus under 50, just under 50% for AMD. There's not much you can do about it. They got a cheaper model. But one thing that was in the print, that was in the report, was that their guidance doesn't include the potential sales to China. You get a China deal, and it's a much different forward guide for them. And to the extent that, look, the stock isn't having a very good day, but when you put it towards a daily chart, it's really a pretty reasonable pullback. I think if you get a China deal that allows those chips to go back in full bore, and we're confident that that's going to happen, AMD can be all systems go again. Otherwise, the 3-day rule, I don't think we ticked. We didn't get to 10% to the downside. I think it got like reasonably close without actually doing it, but it's an impressive V-shape recovery. I had one trade on it. It was a scalp from VWAP to the low at the time. What was the low? And I trailed out, and then it kept very close to that 10%. And sometimes you get too harped up on the whole, hey, let's look for a bounce when it goes down 10%. Because otherwise, it's a pretty, what do you want me to tell you? That's a pretty textbook reversion trade. It's actually very textbook for a trend reverse. I think this afternoon, my eyes are going to be on sort of looking to see if it can hold on to the trend from that bottom, right? So work that trend. If it breaks it, look for the short trade. But a China deal is going to be really important to these guys. And of course, and then on top of that, remember, Nvidia hasn't even reported yet. So like,
yeah, Nvidia's not. I think 24th or 28th of this.
Yeah, we still have to wait for them. And if the pie is growing for everybody, that can give AMD a little bump as well.
Yeah, great stock today to trade for sure, because you got that pre-market break right there at 163, and then once you had that one, it was a downside play, basically nothing in its way. You might have thought about getting something out around 160 where it stops right there, but then I mean, look at this V shape here on the 5-minute chart. It's just like basically, I don't know, 40 minutes or more of straight downside action. Then once we, ran that 158 for some reason, then it just blasts all the way back up, and right now trying to get there. So it looks like it wants to get back to 165, 166. I wouldn't doubt that from happening. It should have just retraced itself right from here, but it didn't. It actually broke higher. So I'm thinking that this little level right there, what I just identified, 163.50 or so, that might be a great little long area right now. So if we do pull back into that space, I do like AMD for the long back down there. Yeah, I think it just got rinsed out. I think everybody that was a little nervous about their positions, thinking that, maybe the best of AMD is behind it, that's not going to be true. I mean, there's a huge upside in all of this. Nvidia sure is the king, but AMD is probably fine being a little bit behind that. And for right now, I mean, the note that I had written down for AMD was, they had revenue growth, but it's the export restrictions, what Neil just mentioned there. And then they had that, not as much of a inventory charge that Nvidia hit, put on their books. I think it was $2.5 billion or something like that, but $800 million inventory charge, obviously hitting the numbers at the end of the day. So that shouldn't exist moving forward.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think AMD's fine. Now we're through that. Names like Marvell and things like that sort of got hit as well with all of those plays. We can also look at QCOM or something. But yeah, I like AMD moving forward. I think we can dip by anywhere around 163 for sure.
All right, guys, look at Palantir up 2 1/3 on the day. Not a bad look. Alex Karp telling the haters to read him and weep after he celebrated a once-in-a-generation quarter, according to him. Goldman Sachs, for their part, maintaining a neutral rating on Palantir, but boosting that price target markedly, guys, from 90 up to 141.
Palantir, yeah. We were talking about this question here from Eerie Pages.
I'll let you get to the question from here. We'll talk about Palantir. What is there to say? I was joking around saying you could slap some Fibonacci's on this and just try to figure out how far it's going to go, but it doesn't really matter. Palantir, you can say valuation all you want. As far as I'm concerned, when you're looking at a continuation, earnings continuation should be simple. Does it have an established trend before earnings? Yes. Did it go up on earnings? Yes. Is it the kind of stock that you want to trade to the long side? If all of those things are true, then you want to look for continuation setups. Now the problem was, at least for myself, is there's 2 points to that trade. One of them is this is your gap up, this is your day one play, it holds the prior low, so fine, like the local breakout. I like the dip into 170, like it actually was more underneath 170 to 69, never happened. So the only thing left was to break it out when it started going, but there was the second trade, which is just the breakout of the high, like break of the channel. So as far as I'm concerned, you're just looking for those types of long setups until something proves it otherwise. Like it's not, like Palantir's not immune to going down. Like it's had, little down pushes before, but ultimately, until it shows something on a reversal, you're going to want to favor the long here. And as I said, valuation to the side, because ultimately it's just not going to trade at a reasonable P. I didn't even bother checking it. Like it's in the hundreds, and I don't think it's all that relevant. Realistically, the time that you're going to care, here's the thing. The time that you're going to care about Palantir is if there's a drastic down move and you're trying to figure out where to get it on them if it does a drastic down move. That's when you wake yourself up and ask yourself what the PE is going to be, or the forward PE. But here you're just playing momentum, and the momentum is very clear to the upside. So there was a missed second trade, which was a breakout of the high. And even look at this, it's holding the prior day high. I think long off 176 this afternoon. Forget about VWAP. If it comes back in, maybe try it off that 76 level until it breaks.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's frustrating because, you know, Palantir has that huge move up. It's still up 2.23%, but then it falls back in. And I don't have any trades today, but it does break that VWAP. Normally, I like to see them hold VWAP around 177. The fact that it broke and it went down about $1, I mean, $1 at the lows, let's call it 80 cents. Not great, but has retaken it. I'm actually thinking a day two, maybe there is a little bit of hangover from this, and actually looking for a 176 breakdown right now, and then supported by these levels up here. So that's, I mean, I don't want to go short it, but honestly, with the Nasdaq at all-time, well, it's not at all-time highs, is it? No, we haven't made that all back yet. But near and going up, basically days high is what I meant to say. You know, this is going to be tough for me to short Palantir, and I don't know if it has the juice to go long right now. There's many other names, like we talked about it, A-Lab, Arista, and all that kind of stuff that are leading the way today in the AI space. So Palantir just takes a little bit of a backseat in the AI race today, but still up 2%. I think you got to like it. The one question that we saw here in the chat that I want to talk about, Erie Pages, Sean A., what's up? Question on gateway selection. Is it always better to use a gateway that has the highest number sitting on it on the level 2? That's the gateway you've been choosing. So yeah, I mean, it's always best. I mean, I honestly do think that Erie and everybody else that's out there trading, and I know you're with Real Trading as well, but it's just like, when you're trading a name like Palantir, it doesn't matter which gateway you're on. So that's the first thing I have to tell you. It's not, you know, whether or not you're bidding, whatever you're bidding here at 117, you just got it. Whatever you're bidding here at 96, you almost got it. But as it rips through your levels, it's not really going to matter. What I would do is look at the fee sheet and make sure that if you are adding liquidity like you're posting here, these is what we're referred to as gateways. Maybe we'll go over to something a little bit slower. I'll just go to AT&T, it's a little slower. So right into here, like you could choose the New York gateway, EdgeX here, Nasdaq, ARCA, IEX, MEMX, which is we call it MyX? I don't know. Yeah, anyways, BATS, Amex, there's the other one. EAB, we always hear Neil sometimes will say good for Edge A. So all of these have different fee structures. And if you sit on NYB, the problem is right now there's 13,000 shares ahead of you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get printed last under all of these guys. You have to look at the level at the time in sales. And like, you know, you have to know what's coded. So when you see like a P go through, that's ARCA. And when you see a Z, that's BATS. And when you see a K, that's EdgeX. And when you see an N, that's New York Book. So the best thing to do is try to figure out what what is printing. The problem is right now, all these are Ds. So I laugh because most of the prints that we'll see here are going to be dark pool. And that's what those Ds are. So it's not really a big thing on where you sit. It's just a matter of figuring out, if you're trying to get fills like a Lucid or something like that, then that's where sitting on, like look at the levels here, right? You don't join Nasdaq, like you said.
You would never join Nasdaq.
Right, like Erie, you asked like, what would you join? I would always join the one with the biggest. No, so there's 600,000 shares there that needs to get printed before you. So that's
in that case.
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
With a book that thick, you're only going to get filled to get paid if you use, like essentially if it takes the whole level.
Right.
So I just take the best fee. Like I would sit there and be like, okay,
yeah,
well, Edge A is going to pay me a lot, so I might just sit on that because it's going to have to blow through the level anyways.
Yeah. So Edge A will be the opposite. But Edge A is going to get hit way before anything else because you pay for that fee.
Not anymore. Edge A is different. You think B1. But Edge A is different.
Edge A, it is? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you get paid on Edge A now.
Oh, you get paid on Edge A, so why isn't
I don't know why
using it?
Sometimes it just doesn't
print anymore.
Okay. The fills aren't as good on it sometimes. But if it's gonna take the whole level, then I don't care where it is on the priority list.
Right, to your point, right. It doesn't overly matter which gateway you use.
I think what matters to us sometimes, and you might hear us say this, is like your routing key when you're trying to remove liquidity. And there are certain times where I want to make sure, like if we're trading, Figma thankfully didn't stop us out. But if I'm using a stop under Figma at the open on the IPO, I want to make sure I'm using a key that's going to hit anything and everything possible. And so just so I get whatever liquidity is there. And that can be almost more important. But it's also important that we acknowledge VinFast has delivered over 35,800 EVs in Q2 of 2025, marking a 172% jump from just last year. That's going to bring their first half total to more than 72,000 EVs, up over 220% year over year. With stronger sales usually in the second half, they're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units. They're also crushing it on two-wheelers, with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 432% from a year ago. And with gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential looks huge. You can find them on the Nasdaq under VFS and scan the QR code you see for more information. Speaking of EVs, not Vs, Tesla on the prowl today.
And touting a new version of FSD, guys, that he says is going to have 10 times or more parameters than the current version. He's slating this to be released next month, the end of next month, but we'll have to wait and see about that, guys. Tesla looking good on the day here.
Oh, right. So, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Look, we know Tesla, you can talk about what happened to both Lucid and Rivian at some point, not good. It's not as if Tesla's numbers were fantastic, but what we like about, when people talk about the 3-day rule, it's let's settle down what happens after earnings. Tesla based out at $300. And then it filled in the gap to 330. Then it retested 300. And it was almost a better turn the second time than it was the first, meaning it liquidity grabbed underneath 300 and then held and then higher lows. And today it finally broke out that fail at 312. And it didn't really go all the way to fill in the gap. I guess it really only went halfway. But Tesla, it's now stabilized above $300, right? So we had confirmation that there's support at the $300 level. So a test of 330 makes a lot of logical sense. So I'm favoring long until we get to 330, at which point, I don't know, like it was a pretty good sell there after it failed, maybe not on the day of. This afternoon, maybe look at, I got this crazy wick, and maybe look at a VWAP
I like the
in there
320
on
break,
Tesla.
actually.
But that's the thing, it's got room to run. Like when you go back over here, you've got, this is 322, this is 325. So it's got room to rally on a consolidation break, but I'm only looking long into this thing until it gets to close to 330 on Tesla.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Just looking at this now, you got support here. It looks like, anyways. I mean, who knows if support's going to turn into resistance or something? But 318 is the 200 period. It's really sort of supported that, throughout, and we came in and bounced there a little bit. The 50 period was actually pretty good on the way up as well. It was actually pretty good on the way down. Now you've broken above it. Now you're hovering there. VWAP's up here at 316. So yeah, the longs look like they're going to be in charge of this stock the rest of the day. So yeah, I think it's pretty good decision here to look for longs now in Tesla. It wasn't on my note this morning. There wasn't like anything that really grabbed my attention on Tesla there early, but obviously the market was like, well, I don't care about your attention, my guy, because we are straight to the upside right there. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to take it on the break and just see what winds up happening. Just pulling down a little bit of a longer chart here, a 20-minute chart on E-signal, just because it's right here and I had it. This is why I was looking at the 320. This is why it's not super exciting. We've sort of had moves like this before. That's 321, that's 323. Like, it does have its ability to sort of get going and then stop and start to drop just a little bit there. But this looks like, it seems silly to maybe punch the long after we've seen this, but 320 is such a key level that let's just wait to see what winds up happening with this position. So I'm happy taking it. It should be a good one. I'm excited to try it. 320 long. If our first out, I think we should try to make our first out in and around 320.75, something like that. So we'll give it about $1 worth of room, right? So a break, if this breaks, we'll give it $1, and we're only going to put on like maybe half a unit. The breakout trades in the afternoon are great, but they just need time. And, we've sort of coined a break and fake type of thing. That could be what happens early on this. So I don't want to punch into like a full units or even one full unit, knowing that I may have to average this back in if it does make that fake. So yeah, I like the 320 break and a good story there. There's no bull in that story, but there is in the next one.
I'm storyless on this one, Sean. Nothing on Weebull today, but it's up over 6%. Good look and good like micro pattern there off the lows. And it does report August 28th, guys. So we still have a few weeks until Weebull gives us our first report.
I'll tell you this much. I'm not saying this because we own it, but at the same time, if you go up when nothing is happening,
I know
there's no obvious sympathy play that we're dealing with here. You could make the argument that I know ETH is going and some of the treasury names. It's like ETH treasury names are running today. What does that have to do with Weebull? I have no idea. It's just I'm happy it's happening. And look, and the funny thing is, it's doing it on legit volume as well. Like the relative volume this morning on the move was as good as it's had since it pulled back. Underneath $15. So look, this is good. This is great. I just didn't have a reason to be looking at this. That's what's frustrating because this is the kind of stock where had it been on the watch list or had it been more on the radar, like who wouldn't have been interested in a consolidation top end break? That looks really good, but you have to have a reason to be looking at the stock in the first place. Sometimes it's just like it's on your list of regular things to look at. Like you're not going to go through your process without looking at Tesla at some point in the morning, whether it has a catalyst or not. But Weebull, easy to get skipped. I think this is a hold, at least until it retests the 18 level where it fell before. Because as Sharif said, we haven't even got their earnings yet. So I'm not really sure what is supposed to be the next catalyst, except for the fact that it bounced the 50 period and it gets its resuming trend back up. It's a pure trend play from 10. I can't see a reason why they won't have quality numbers in the 28th because, I mean, Robinhood did. They're not as good as Robinhood, but at the end of the day, I think they've got a lot of room to run. Happy it moved. If someone has a reason or I guess some kind of a theory as to why it was so strong and did so much volume, I'm more than open to being educated on it. Why not? Now we're just celebrating the fact that it happened.
Yeah, I was just trying to look here. Yeah, with earnings coming through. I mean, I think I really do think it's just everybody thinking about it being, I don't want to say the next Robinhood or anything like that, but we've seen stuff, transfer sort of crypto trading has been really hot. We talked about that. We had Kevin O'Leary on in the past before as well. Robinhood took out WonderFi. And I just wonder, like, Weebull with its, what is the current market cap of Weebull? Like, and the reason why I'm looking at this is that potentially, I mean, WonderFi is small potatoes. That was a couple $100 million. I don't think that deal was anything that big. But this market cap is only $7 billion right now for Weebull. So I'm just thinking about a JP Morgan. I'm thinking about like, and I know that they don't go ahead and acquire places like this, but TD Bank with E-Trade and some of the other things, some of the different trading companies have been acquired over the years. Maybe Weebull, if they can get their users and their user growth still, increasing, potentially that's something there, right? So I would say that's a nice move higher. We bought the stock. I just thought that it was time to go. We bought it at 11 or I think it was 11 or 12, something like that. And it did fade back out. We did have that stop at 18. We are actually, and again, it's all on the book, like we talked about it when we were here. We got some out when it was up to that $18 mark again, and I think it's going next time. And this time I actually think that once it breaks through 18, then we get going back up there to the high side SoFi style. So, it's forming this little break spot, and I think 18 looks pretty healthy for that. So yeah, I'm here for it. I like Weebull. I like it long term, and I do think that there is some kind of a Brazil and White House. So Brazil, so EWZ is the Brazil. So you got to know those things right there, and here it is right now, not really moving around, but the Brazil president stating that he has not contacted President Trump yet about any of the tariffs. So yeah, maybe Brazil not getting too far. I don't know what the current status of Brazil tariffs are, but apparently they're not getting worked on. I honestly think
there was a fake out on Brazil news last week or something.
Was there? There was India. We looked at the India ETF. Oh yeah, that's right. I was in this name last week for some reason. Yeah. Thing is, what I think, I mean, I don't know what Trump can do whatever he wants, but all these extensions that keep on happening, it's almost like there needs to be almost like a serious drop dead date. I feel like at some point. Because everything keeps getting pushed down. Didn't Mexico get 90 days? Yeah. India, they're talking with that as well.
See, the thing about that graphic is if you watch South Park, that makes him Canadian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's what
Terrence and Phillip.
Terrence and Phillip, like the only characters that have.
When is the new South Park? Did you see season 1 yet?
No,
episode 1 of season 27.
I haven't seen it. But I'm just like,
that's pretty good.
I looked at it liking South Park.
I think it's one of the best. I mean,
Oh, okay.
it's way higher than.
Fabian's saying that they're basically playing on like the movie. In the movie, Saddam did that, and that's what they're getting at. I don't know. Same voice, but I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, that's Canadians had that. If you watch South Park,
Terrence and Phillip.
any true South Park fan knows
Terrence and
that's a
Phillip.
Canadian thing. That's how you can tell you're Canadian on the show.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways,
Exactly.
let Tim cook.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Apple. Oh, we love Apple. Yeah.
I like it. I just like the pun. I'm going to say it a few times.
Apple next on the board here. Good day for Apple at near the day's highs. So here's the deal. Donald Trump's going to announce a fresh $100 billion investment by Apple in addition to the $500 billion that was announced earlier this year. He's going to be with Tim Cook, I believe, at the White House, and they're going to join each other for that. So it's around 4:15, Adara? Okay, she's got her headphone. 4:30, guys. Expect that. So after the market close.
I guess we're not
Unless
that
this
much.
is already it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is it. So I think this is what the announcement's gonna be. Obviously, Scott Bessent there, or whoever earlier today announced that Apple's ready to make some sort of an investment. That's gonna obviously please the current administration. So we just went long, man. We wrote down 205 early. We missed it by just a handle down there to the downside. But anyways, once it breaks through 208, we actually just looked at Apple and said, like, if there was going to be any sort of a level right into here, there it is right there. So that's 207, 208. That's where we're long. So that little break there of 208, we did a live on the show. We took it, and we took it pretty good. So again, back-to-back days where we really hammer Apple. So it's a nice move. We like that stock. It's up 6%. Look, I mean, I recently bought it at 212. You know, I was looking like pie in my face when we did that, because there it was right there, came back in. I bought it on the day that Google reported, so or a couple days after when we finally got filled. I just thought that Google had a great report, and I put a bid at Google for 180, and that didn't fill. And I said, well, you know what, if Google's gonna have that kind of a report, and I know Google and Apple are completely different, but I just looked at Mag 7, and I knew I wanted some more exposure there. But anyways, it does drop into 200, which wasn't great, 202, but there's a nice move up, and it's just right at a spot that it has to hold.
Yeah, that 15.
Yeah, like right into here. We've been here so many times. We were here before. We were here just last week, and we didn't hold it, and we fell back down. So this is not a victory lap for Apple or anything like that, just a decision, right? I mean, instead of investing $100 billion in who knows what, spend $30 billion and buy Perplexity, and then this stock goes up here, and you're right back to 250 again. So that's what I'm thinking. That's my bull case for Apple, finally an announcement in AI. And until we get that, we just go ebbs and flows of the market, right? I mean, first of all, Berkshire Hathaway could finally step in and buy some more Apple. They did sell a big position. Still their number one holding as far as I know.
So much cash.
So I don't know, man. But the story is gone now with Apple, because it used to be every time you sold something, you went into Warren Buffett's pocket because they're sitting on the bid all the time.
Yeah,
they still have a big share buyback listed. So yeah, I like the stock, and I'm very, very comfortable with it being a large position in my long-term holding.
Yeah, I'll admit, like when considering the dip buys, like I bought Amazon yesterday because I thought like maybe that got punished too much on their earnings, and you could make the same argument for Apple. We showed a monthly chart of McDonald's earlier to drive like a point home, but if you look at the pullback, for everything that's been said about Apple and its hardware and software rules, and the margins are going to be better there, and there's nothing new going on, and blah blah. They're not executing on AI, and all of the criticism that you've heard, really. If you look at on the monthly chart, any single time that you have had any remote test of the 50 period on the monthly, it has been a buy zone. And I'm not just talking about, like, you can go back to that's 2018 when it did it. It couldn't get there in this 2023 low. It couldn't even get there during COVID. It bounced off in 2016, back in 2013 it bounced off of it. Now that's on a monthly time frame, so these are good levels, and we didn't even remotely test that on Apple. So like I almost hoped that you would get down there to get a buying opportunity in Apple, but it's not going to happen. As far as today, this afternoon, like Sean said, this 215, that's a wall. Like that's the post-Liberation Day brick wall. It spent a little bit of time above. Okay, sometimes when I see wicks like that, I don't trust that, so I'm going to go to a daily chart on eSignal just to make sure. I just want to see what we're looking at. On a second source, yeah, because that's what I thought. We haven't broken away from this. Like this is a true wall, and the highs are just about 216. So like in front of that level, you almost think first time through fade it. If it breaks 15, like that's an example of, well, you break away from 215. Well, it's broken 215 several times in the last few months. It's getting above like 16, 17. That'll be more juice. I think if it breaks 15 today, I'd be looking for some kind of a fade based on that daily chart. But all systems go. Like I said, if hindsight being 2020, Apple would have been better to have bought Apple instead of Amazon. But my thesis on buying Amazon was just simply I thought it was beaten up a little bit too much on that earnings, and it's doing well. It's doing okay as well, but it held that 200 period. And we'll say if you like a stock and the stock is a stock that you want to dip by, then on the daily chart, what's the reason you don't want the 200 period moving average? If I'm going to buy the dip on a stock and it gets to the 200 period and I'm buying it for my long term, then I can usually not think of a good reason. Like maybe I wouldn't do it the day before earnings. That would be a reason that I don't do it. Maybe, I don't know, there could be some kind of like other big story like in front of like a big tariff deadline. I don't know, I'm sort of making something up. Because most of the time you just sit on the bid and you get it when you're trying to DCA or whatever it might be. And I want to acknowledge, a lot of people said you guys are sleeping on BMNR, Bitmine. Like we know the ETH is moving, ETH Treasury type names are all, like SBET's having a big day, BMNR. I would venture to say this seems like it's on the other side of the V right now. Like it's a midday special. Like most of the opportunity to get this into the long side would have been when you were with Joe and Sharif, because like since 2 o'clock, all it's done is make a couple of topping tails, and there's no chance that I paid for locates on this thing, which I know it's not free. And then you can also look at SBET with not as good of a chart, but sort of a similar upward move. So some of the treasury plays going well because, hey, ETH having a pretty good day. Bitcoin not bad either. Let's go to Adair.
Just be aware here, this is JAZZ or JAZZ, Jazz Pharmaceuticals. This one moving around pretty violently here. And decent volume as well, over 1 million shares traded, I believe about 1.5 million, 1.6 million. Basically, the FDA apparently granting this company accelerated approval to one of its treatments for diffuse midline glioma. So good look here for JAZZ. Back to you.
Yeah, well, they have that. Who's the Volpe is disappointing.
God.
Is that his name? That's his name, right?
Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
I was basically Jazz Chisholm is a player on the Yankees. He's actually pretty good, but sometimes he's got some brain farts. He made the break. I've watched a lot of baseball in my life.
Really?
A lot of baseball in my life. I have never seen a professional baseball player who's on first base.
Right.
And there is a pop-up to second base.
Right, infield fly, no.
There's no infield fly.
Okay.
And he just stands there a couple of feet off the bag, watching the second baseman catch the ball.
And he throws him out.
Watching the second baseman throw. He's like, by the time he realizes, oh, wait a minute, I should be on my bag, he's already out.
Right. I mean, Vladdy had a brain fart like that last year in the playoffs, or a couple years ago, where he got picked off. And everyone was.
No, someone made a meme
off.
about the Yankees.
Yeah, you were saying the Charlie Brown.
The Charlie Brown meme. I'm a Jays fan, so if you're from New York and you're a Yankee
Still
fan,
disappointed the Jays didn't do more in the trade deadline, but
of course,
we'll see what winds up happening. That always
we
is
crushed
kind
the
of
Rockies,
case.
though. We should crush the Rockies.
The Rockies. Well, we won 10-4 last night.
Yeah,
10-4.
we won 15-1 the day before. The Jays are going to do something in the playoffs.
Jazz Chisholm.
Jazz Chisholm is one of the most overrated players. I tend to disagree with that. I actually think he's a very talented player. At some point, if someone can get the light bulb to switch with him, he could be an absolute super. Like he's as gifted as Mookie Betts. If he had just.
But not at
coach.
bowling. Not at bowling.
No, Mookie Betts is just the guy can do everything, but he's that kind of an athlete if he can just get the right person behind him. I don't know. It is what it is. Like I get it. Like yeah, you say he's overrated because he doesn't really get the most out of his talent, but he's supremely talented. When I see athletes like that, it's just like, oh my goodness, like you wish. I won't name any names, but
these guys are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars.
I trained in university. I wasn't the greatest track athlete in the world, but there was a dude on our track team, and it was just like, it's like, man, like this, because track's a sport where the other have the genetics and you don't. And there was a dude, he had it. It's like you realize how good you could be. If you just if in the weight room and I guess he didn't love it enough. But it's like, man, you could have been. You would go to the Olympics, man. Like you're so good. there's natural talent. You just see it, but it's like you'd have to care.
I think it's awesome now that you can get paid also in college because these kids take a lot of risks, and sometimes they get hurt in college, whether or not it's track or whatever, and then they don't make the majors. And now you're getting drafted in these professional leagues, and they actually wind up making less in the major leagues than you did
Still
here.
can't get over Disney not having a better run because we're talking about sports.
What, today?
Today.
Yeah, I know. Remember, I was talking about the break on Disney.
A little baffled by Disney's fate today.
Let's get back into Disney. Maybe we'll have a look.
Yeah, no, seriously. But if you look at it, it's still the market's at the high. It's trying to go, but it's still a very disappointing day for them. Look, ESPN getting an NFL deal. You've got streaming profitable for the second quarter in a row. Their parks have always, theme parks and experiences have always been good. Double-digit growth there. Like, I don't know. Like, what more did you want? I'm not even, and again, it doesn't necessarily matter what you think of the report. What I do like is it held 115. Hey, obvious level, 115, like sometimes levels are really easy to spot. I don't know why I wasn't really looking at this, but it's now broken away from 115. That looks way better. It was rejecting it all morning, and now it's trying to break away from 115. I do like what's going on with Disney. Candidly, I sold all of my Disney shares a while back to put it into Netflix, but I've been looking for a spot to get back into this, and not just because I'm obsessed with Star Wars, because they,
Yeah, don't do it for Star Wars.
No, they still,
I mean, Star Wars is great, but
no, I love and I haven't even finished Andor, which is criminal, but. I don't have enough time.
That was the one we disconnected Disney, but maybe we'll get back to it. I don't know, the kids, no one's really missing it. We've already talked about this, man. Everybody's all over this.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Go Google.
Well, I was going to show the stock first.
Oh, my
There
bad.
you go. But yeah, I was going to say everyone's all over YouTube right now. YouTube continues to be hot fire. We actually, Brendan and the three of us had a meeting. We were talking about YouTube and just how popular it's been. Many more views even on YouTube Shorts than on TikTok, apparently. So yeah, we're pretty happy with the way. You're still here?
Not good.
What's going on? Why are you still here?
Coming back is not going to make it better. Every time Randy comes
Randy
over.
wants it lower. He's got to buy the stock lower.
You want to buy 10s.
What are we at?
We're at 1160.
Close enough, Randy.
You want 10s. Randy wants 10.
We just got filled, by the way.
You'll take 10 half?
Yeah, of course he will.
Yeah, probably.
1069. Get it done. Put the bid in.
69.
Yes, that's the price.
Get in there and buy.
That's the price I bought Weebull at just because. Because it's 1060. Why not? Or 1042. That's acceptable as well. It's nothing wrong with that. Why not make it fun?
Randy, I mean, unless you're really buying a significant amount of shares, like you're gonna just
it doesn't
hate
matter the
yourself
price.
again. Because last time we missed it by 20 or 30 cents, and it went like $5.
Because if you think it's going to 17 from here,
No. Wow.
I mean, it's not financial advice, but
no, but if you think it's going here to here, then does it really matter if you have $11.21 or $10.88?
Right, exactly.
If you're going to scalp it for like 40 to 50% move and then hold for the dream, if you're just waiting for earnings to have come out and dropped it down,
Randy,
it did.
I have something important to tell you. My wife just says, she doesn't send me anything all day in capital letters, but as soon as she sees you, it goes, Randy, right in our chat.
Everybody loves Randy.
Hi, Marissa. Miss you too. I know.
Miss you too. Maybe it's a little more serious than I had thought. I have to talk to Randy after the show, get this sorted out. But hi, my wife. I love and miss you as well. By the way, I just finished talking with her about 10 minutes before the show.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Capital letters happening there as well. And I was just looking, as family, I was looking to see what the weather's like. We have practice tonight. It looks like it's going to be good here. All good. Because outside it's still pretty, not, the words, I guess it's foggy. I don't know what you call the weather.
I can't, the chat's like, does she like Coldplay?
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is that we were in Boston.
You were at the concert.
We weren't at the concert, but we were.
You were in Boston.
Yeah, we were because we were looking for hotels that night, Wednesday and Thursday night, when Coldplay was there. And we're like, Marissa was even like, why are hotels so expensive only on Wednesday night in Boston? So we wound up finding one, and everything was fine. But it was Coldplay, and then we wake up the next day, and that astronomer CEO is all the rage. And I think that they.
It's a good thing the news cycle's fast, because that kind of
that guy wind up
pretty quick.
Astronomer's not a public company, I don't think.
I don't think so.
I will say both he and the HR rep did leave the company. And then the new interim CEO released a statement about, we're in the public eye. Hopefully we'll be more in the public eye for not this going forward.
Right. Okay.
You think?
So there was some stuff there with Astronomer, and I think that the guy was even like thinking about like talking about the privacy and all that. Come on, man, you're at a concert. Like, get your stuff figured out there.
Yeah, like, give me a break.
For sure. Yeah, thank you so much, Erie Pages. I mean, this is honestly why we do the show. You've rewound it several times in a row now, that talk about the level 2 and all of that. And yeah, it's just a matter of, I would say just honestly, I think when you're starting out trading and you listen to like the trading floor development team, which we have great there, everybody that opens up an office or trading here at Real Trading, you know, gets dedicated support and all that kind of stuff. And it is sometimes overwhelming that there's all these different options. Like we can show you our keyboard setups, they're huge. Neil and I both have 20 or 30 keys set up for every single market. But I just want to say to everybody out there, just keep it as simple as possible until it actually matters.
You don't want your keyboard setup to look like this unless you've been trading a very long time.
So those are all, so see on the left, it's all Control, Shift, Alt, and then all at the top is all the F1 keys. So Neil has like all these different routing keys and this and that. So my keyboard.
I had too much.
Yeah, you have too much. My keyboard is very similar to that, except for I really only use like 5 or 6 keys.
That's the problem.
And that's the thing. So it's like I prefer Arca just because. I mean, so I make that the easy one. I make that F6 and F7 on my keyboard, sort of right in the middle, so I don't have to travel. Like I can just trade. That's why sometimes I'm talking and I'm trading by hitting hotkeys because they're easy to find.
Depending on market.
And then the market keys maybe at the very end, F1 and F12, things like that, just to try to keep it simple, stupid. So that's what I'm doing, as simple as possible for the keyboard. And the fees, although trading and managing your fees are one of the most important things, because especially when you make numerous trades, when you're talking about like pennies on the thousands, it's not that big of a deal. Just try to understand adding and removing liquidity and what the differences are there. And what I try to do is, for example, right here on Rivian, like all of these shares, I'm sitting there and getting hit. So if I'm trying to buy 64s, I'll just sit here in line, and when 64s print and I get printed, I'll make money on that trade, even though it's really small. But the difference between EdgeX and Arca and BATS is gonna be minuscule. So like right there, boom. So there's all the prints, right? So there's Z, BATS. So so you wanna make sure that you maybe were on BATS next time, because I saw that more. But there it goes up and down, and now there's more 60. See, Arcas, BATS, New York, like they're all printing. It's just pick one that you trust. And yeah, just play a little game with it. Like just try one day, see if you get better fills, then switch over to something the other day. But remember, like on earnings and stuff like that, when there's a lot of liquidity, it's not really going to matter. So thanks, Erie, for that question, and I'm glad that we're able to talk about it with everybody here, because sometimes trading is lonely and it's confusing and it's frustrating. But don't let gateways or order types really get to you. Just try to understand them, and if you have any questions, ask ourselves or ask ChatGPT. Honestly, things like that will help.
Oh, that's a great one.
Figure it all out. So
there's no bad questions, and there are no bad opportunities if you want to take advantage of it. It's how you take advantage of them. And one of the things that savvy Canadian traders that are looking to boost their exposure can tap into are the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 Beta Pro 3X daily leveraged ETFs. They got built-in FX hedging. It's a great way to amplify short-term market moves and minimize the impact of your currency swing. Of course, short-term, because remember, decay, these are for trading and not necessarily for long-term investing. So if you're bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active traders that want to take on the markets. Make sure you read the full risk disclosure and prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Scan the QR code there for more information. Very quickly, Fabian was like, have you guys looked at Reddit today? I do believe we did.
Reddit, forget it.
I don't remember the context of pulling this one up. I was comparing it to, there was something that was really bad. Oh, it was Snapchat. Snapchat, we're talking about it in the morning. I was just trying to find some kind of a comparison of a company that was the opposite chart. And I sort of settled on Reddit. It's probably not even, I'm sure something is better than Reddit. Fabian just said the weekly is nice, so I'm gonna pull up a weekly chart. Fabian, do you own Reddit? I hope you do. I hope you do. That is a very good, that is one heck of a.
It's all the way back?
You know what? I don't actually think I've seen.
How is it 210?
I don't think I've seen this before. Because you know the IPO breakout trade, for anyone not familiar with the IPO breakout trade, is so the stock opens up, you make some kind of a high, and then it gets retested sometime distinctly after the IPO. So like it wastes a bunch of time. Then you take when it breaks away from that IPO high, like that's the idea. So here it would have been like $80 to $81. You're taking a breakout, but it's the retest of exactly that level that's insane to me to go right back to the high. Like I was clearly asleep. Like what
was that candle?
That was like this is.
I honestly, I'm just stupid because that 130, 120 break, we were on it. We were talking about it live on the show, and I was like, I really like Reddit. I like the fact that they're one of those new plays and a lot of exposure there to the ad business as well. That I don't think they monetized yet. A relatively new name in the space. We know that Zuckerberg's adding more and more to the advertising spot of this for AI. They're selling their data to these LLMs and things like that.
And they have a great way to get you to sign. Like it's weird. Like a lot of people sign up for the account just because you do a Google search now, and it's like, you click. It's like, do it on the app. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get the app on my phone just so I can. I don't even use Reddit that much.
No, but it's like Google, Gemini, and all these guys. Every time they're querying into Reddit, I mean, I guess that's giving them more revenue, more clicks per whatever.
That weekly chart's insane. So why wouldn't it be at 230? It's crazy.
It is. It's going right back there. So Sharif was mentioning there, which I think was very, very small, was finally trying to step into the housing business.
That's crazy.
And so this is, I don't know, this is from Made in Canada. They're relatively, good. They're not doing this for anything other than just to show you. This is listed right now in Vancouver for $2 million in Vancouver, Canada, of course, on the west coast, the very most western part. And this is what $2 million gets you in Ohio. But remember, $2 million Canadian, right, is really only like 1.4 US. But then someone made a point here. Whoops, I don't want to show whatever that is. That looks like an ad. But $2 million hospital bills when you get sick in Ohio. But something very similar. I just wanted to show that because it came up on my feed there as I was looking through. And what I really wanted to talk about, was Skibbity, Ohio. No, was this tonight. I mean, go check it out, man. We put a tweet out for this as well. And that's what brought me to Twitter. Tonight we have big earnings again coming through, man. It's all of them. Airbnb, it's Duolingo. We talked a little bit about that as well. Dutch Bros, Joby, which has been moving around a lot recently. Apple Oven coming through right there. That should be a big one, right? Big one. Lyft, we've seen Uber have some problems, so we'll see what Lyft has to show. Although Lyft had an increased number of rides last time and an increased number of drivers, so we'll see if Lyft getting more popular maybe.
It was a great move last quarter.
Yeah, exactly. So Lyft was lifted. Get out of here, Elf. Get out of here, Fly. Elf Cosmetics right there. I used their sunscreen this weekend. It was fantastic, I guess. And then DoorDash, also pretty good. Fortinet, we'll see about internet cybersecurity coming through. FTNT should be a good one, as we'll wait to see. I mean, Palo Alto's been hit. I'll check it out what it's doing today. And then my guy over here, DraftKings. That should be exciting. That's coming at 4:50. And then we'll see if quantum plays can continue to run into the close. And we had Oscar Health. You guys, I mean, bang. Bang, right there. We bought some Oscar yesterday, and that's now up 3% today. So yeah, some things are happening for sure in the right space. That is, of course, right here. Go over. Adair does this every day. Not just this graphic is every day, but especially during earnings season, but many more graphics out there talking about, AMD and there's a whole bunch. It's stocks joining, adding, Palantir taking over spot 20. There's lots of stuff. If you're just looking for
I love that one.
Yeah, if you're looking for a good little something to do on your phone, I mean, I guess there's lots to do these days, but
there's lots to do. But if you love the market,
Twitter's full of garbage, but Trader TV Research definitely a good page. So go check it out, eh?
This is the one. No, it's I'll get to DraftKings in a second. NFL starts.
Oh, right.
Look, I understand they already had the Hall of Fame game, but I never count that as the start of the preseason. Whatever, tomorrow is going to be interesting. No, I just like this one. Top 10 in the S&P by market capitalizations. I love the visual aspect of it, especially when you see how small some companies that we concern ourselves with a lot. Like, how many times have we been asked questions to talk about United Health? Teeny, wincy part of it. Like, remember back in the day when Cisco was a huge deal? Teeny, weeny little part. I don't know why I'm saying teeny, weeny.
I think what's crazy about it, too, is that's only like 10% of the so there's a whole 450 names that are not there. That's just the largest 10% by market cap. And UNH is worth noting too. I updated that last night. UNH actually was, like a couple months ago, it was within the top 15 companies. Then it was like at the very end of the top 10%. Now it's back at number 35. So that thing is just oscillating like crazy.
Yeah, UNH volatility is here for a hot minute, no questions asked. But it was I was gonna just briefly mention DraftKings. Look, NFL is starting to come around. College football is always going to be big for them. I can make a joke about the Cleveland the Cleveland Guardians. Both of their having two players getting suspended. One of the guys, so they've cleaned out their lockers. Which basically means those guys are done for the season, the pitchers that were in, and allegedly, let's just say, they were allegedly fixing prop bets on the first pitch of an inning multiple times, which is wild to me because it's got to be such a rare prop that how easy would it be to see extra money coming in? Oh, this guy throwing the first pitch will be a ball and 10 times the money comes in? Yeah, I think they're going to catch you maybe. Professional player, and one of the guys is literally the best at his position, making millions. The other dude doesn't make a lot, so I'm like, I mean, I guess if he got approached with a bunch of money or he had some debts, but not that that excuses it, but if you're the top of your game, oh my goodness, what are you doing? But anyways, everyone's gonna bet, and MLB advertises all the time how much their gambling partnerships. They're just everywhere. You can't go anywhere. The Jays games is Bet365.
My boy Calvin Ridley got suspended a whole year from Atlanta.
Yeah, like look, betting's going to happen. Everyone's going to keep
having
doing
nightmares now that Randy's going to keep appearing all over the place.
But why isn't DraftKings breaking out? Look at this it's a long, slow consolidation breakout that is waiting for tonight, I think, for it to go. So go sports, go gambling, and I understand you should gamble safely. And
go gambling was just said.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
And
what's wrong with that? I'm just saying.
Well,
I like it. It's funny.
Yeah, it's not the right thing. I should go gambling's not the right thing to say. No, it's more along the lines of it's going to happen, and at the end of the day, you want a company like if you're going to do it, you want to go somewhere where you're going to have quality odds, where you're going to be able to get paid out, and you're not going to have to worry about anything shady, right? Like that's what you want, and that's. At the end of the day, that's what matters. I think it's a stock that should be breaking out. I don't know why it's been so slow to get off the schneid. Maybe that ends at 4:15 tonight. Sorry, and again, I'm not meaning to promote gambling. Like I do some daily fantasy, but mostly I'm just a fantasy leagues, baseball and football. Like I'm pretty into fantasy baseball, but I don't like individual sports betting. Like actually, I flat out will not bet on. I will never bet on the Jays or the Bills. I know for a fact I would be completely unable to be partial if I bet on my team.
That's where you have to be careful.
I know I couldn't be, so I don't do it because I would just sit there being like, every single year I'm going to pick the Bills to win and just ridiculous, stupid props and all that kind of stuff. I have fun with fantasy football. We're looking at our draft. I don't know what this volume spike was just now, but whatever we did, DraftKings pulled back decently into the volume-weighted average price. That's a little bit strange.
I am just taking a piece out here. Rivian's trying to fall, but it's not doing anything. So neither is Apple, though. I don't know what's going on right now in this market. As we enter power hour in 30 seconds, it's not too powerful right now, but this move right there, we'll take another piece out as it comes back into this level of 214.50 or so. We'll see if there's some downside plays now in the market. I'm still going to get out the rest. I have basically less, like 2%. I might as well just get out now. But anyways, just to hold this, if we break down through 214, I kind of like that as a level. We talked earlier about Palantir possibly being a short. It just hasn't broken yet either. The market's kind of just hovering around right now, I guess, daring us to make a trade or something. I don't know.
But look at Palantir.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not doing anything. And I had thought that Palantir would be the break right there. I think that's a good trade, breaking through 176.50. If there is anything, let me take this opportunity to shout out Fabian one more time, because right now, you know what? I'm just going to reset this again, because here's AMD, Palantir, Tesla. These are all names we talked about. We looked at BMNR, of course, the Ethereum Trust play there. Weebull, we sort of had an explanation on that one. Nvidia finally turns green now as AMD had that complete turnaround, which is nice as well. SMCI still down 18%. I've covered that. I'm up on SMCI. I've only made 3 trades today. Apple, Rivian, SMCI. We'll still be red on Rivian, but that's not doing anything, so we'll have to get away from that one. Apple's been a huge trade. That's my #1 trade today. That's up 5%. Figma, wow, up 15%. Maybe we'll have a look at Figma when we get going. But all you got to do is type in $Google. Make sure you do get involved right now in our. So we only have We only have 337 likes, like less than 10%. I mean, if you are watching this, make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe immediately. Get these numbers going a little bit here and tell YouTube to start promoting us a little bit more. So there it goes, man. Hit those likes, hit those subscribes. And I'm going to, you got to just get in the chat. So right now, I am going to hit fresh start. So boom goes the dynamite. And I mean, the work that Fabian's done on this, you can click on a name and it will even show you the,
It's wild.
like it'll show you the chart for the day. 13% right there for BMNR. Thank you, Fabian.
It's got the volume on there as well.
for
It's
doing
got
all of that.
Yeah, it's got the volume. It's great.
There it is. So we'll double check it. Thanks, Fabian. How was the beef? It's pretty good. Yeah, I thought today's lunch was actually really good there. We didn't talk about the noodles, but there was noodles. That were there.
Lunch was great.
Lunch was pretty good today as we go. And the reason I say that is I saw Fabian carrying he showed it on the midday show.
Yes.
He showed it. Where's the beef? Came through.
We get ours on the salad. So
AMD, Apple. Okay.
App loving.
App love. I mean, some of these trades. I mean, Neil just reviewed DraftKings. That's reporting there later on tonight as well. AMD. So is turning around. Whoa, right there. Wow, that's a good one. Maybe we short now against that level. That's possible. It's already down $1 though right now. That just came in, boy. Wow, that was a good trade. Right into there. Why were we not? This is what trading is, man. Neil said that story about hindsight, which was funny yesterday. But, you know, it's like you wait for these, and it's like you don't need to do that, especially on a name that's been so violent today with its moves. So clean, but still pretty violent on the moves. I mean, that was a big move down from 165 down to 157, almost in a straight line. I mean, it could do that again right now. So this is definitely something to look at. Maybe we'll go short using this as our out, 164.30, but I'd like it to break something first. Like that's 163, that's too far down. And you're just now breaking,
It's breaking trend right now.
Yeah, I know. That was a good trade right there, 164. Well, all right, let's offer AMD. If it comes back up to 164, maybe we'll short it. Are you short it now?
No, it just broke 163.5. Come to my chart for a quick second. 163.5 was the trend break on like that's not the all-day trend break, but the trend from the 1050 low, like right in here. So in this particular case, because of the weird nature of this entry, like it's a breakdown under here, but the trend breaks there. Like my rule is I then move it to, it's not the prior bar high, it's the prior consolidation resistance, or I guess in this case it would be support, which is at about 163.9. So stop 163.9 and target, I mean, I want it to get to VWAP. Anytime I look at something like this, I want it to get to the volume weighted average price. And that's going to be the target to the downside on AMD. Someone said Palantir was moving, so after I want to get a bit out on it.
It's not. We just looked at it.
I thought someone said Palantir. Oh, maybe they were. You might have just put it in when you were asking about the symbols, and someone put Palantir. I was like, if Palantir gets going off the bid, I think Palantir was a good long early, but I think Palantir. It's not moving. I thought off VWAP, Palantir could be a bit of a long if the volume was starting to go. But taking a second look at this, that's not happening. Not really. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, Palantir's not moving. False alarm. I thought maybe when people were putting the symbol in, but I do now realize that was just, you wanted us to look at it and talk about it, but it's not moving. Bit of a volume candle there on AMD, but it's more about the trend break, which I want to get rid of this now and then save it. And that way I can have my trend line in there the whole way. Whoops, that's the wrong level. There we go. And then we want one in front of the 50s. And then if it gets to VWAP, it gets to the volume weighted average price. What is SoFi doing? Hopefully amazing things I saw in the chat. This is the other thing. I know it's not doing anything. And the problem with, this is why I was curious about Weebull. I looked over, I'm like, yeah, well, Weebull's strong. Why isn't SoFi doing anything? SoFi is stuck in a bit of a rut since earnings. It's as simple as that. Like, it's good. Hold 21. I guess you can buy 21s with lower highs. That kind of stinks because then flat bottom break underneath 21 bucks is setting up here on SoFi. I want to be more bullish on this since earnings, but what are you going to do? Every time it's bounced, it's just sold off to a lower high. It looks like SoFi is gearing up for a little bit of a dip. I guess you wait for 18 bucks with that name. Weebull, strong, SoFi, completely flat. Disappointing since earnings. Like, it did that big move up, but disappointing since then is what I mean. Because it had a great day first day. It's just after that it stunk.
I mean, it's kind of like, SoFi's so good.
I'll take it.
All right, so just a quick,
Well, the button's there. I'm going to hit it.
All right, so just real quickly here, I did want to look over Bitcoin right now, 15.5, so that's actually starting to go, but I use this coin Gecko to look at all of the coins all at once right here. So let's have a quick little look to see what is happening today in the last 24 hours. I saw someone put in there, Go XRP. XRP Ripple's trying to hold that $3 mark. It looks like it could do that. And again, we had O'Leary not too long ago, and he was talking about what was impressive to him is that he could transfer like millions of dollars in seconds and pay like a couple dollars in fees. Well, we do know that that's what XRP specialty is with Western Union and whatnot, transfer of money really quickly there, really secure, and many use cases of that, proven cases. So that is what's happening over there with that. So, and again, Binance, we know that that's the coin fueling the exchange. Solana there up 2.6%. That's been pretty nice. Tron, there was a Tron Ethereum, a Tron Trust going, one of the stocks. I don't even remember what the name of that one is, but that's now 33 cents. I don't know. Cardano still at 74, Dogecoin at 20 cents. And a lot of these plays going, oh, Ramin, thank you to Ramin for this. She sent me this image. I'll open this in a new tab. I'm not sure when this was. But right here, this is maybe 55 minutes ago, but there it is, man. Crypto trading is back at Weebull right now. So we talked about why Weebull potentially could be on its March higher right now. It says back, so maybe they just got their license renewed. I don't know if it is through or gained a license or a country specific, but pretty soon you'll be able to buy and sell top coins like Bitcoin. I actually thought this was already happening there, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano. I think in Canada, I think you can, but I'm not sure anywhere else. So thanks, Ramin, for all of that update. But yeah, that could be a reason why we're on a bullish run on its namesake. So that could be something. Dutch Bros is interesting to me tonight. We'll see what Dutch Bros can do. They're hovering around their 200 period moving average or so on the daily chart. They've been pulled back in. They're reporting later on tonight. We'll get to see what's going on there. We do know that the consumer is pretty strong in the U.S. Obviously, I think all of their locations are U.S. based there, primarily in the Northwest, I believe. Oregon, I think that they started out in. But yeah, this could be a good one. Again, we saw Starbucks make the move back to the north side of that. And of course, a lot of that is Brian Nickel. But yeah, there's Bros, nice downside play there. You like to buy stock around the 200 period. You talked there about Amazon as well and how good of a play that was the other day on that. And Amazon today just really skyrocketed.
Well, it's up one day.
SBU X, not SPIX. There it is. So Starbucks, it's actually faded out a little bit there. We did make that run up to $98 again and completely stopped. And that was just, I think that just became an issue with 100 falling back in. So yeah, I guess Starbucks isn't performing as well as I thought. It's had a really bad week. If you take that week away, man, you made that bottom around 80 and then started to climb. So they reported a good number. China wasn't the greatest for them. We'll wait to see if they can get settled. But I like Starbucks. I like Bros. And, Kava's done well. CMG has done well. McDonald's today with a good print. So, yeah, people are going out and spending money. I don't know.
You get them at
our family
30 times.
We don't eat out too often. My wife made this crazy great salad again last night it has salami in it, little bocconcini cheeses. It was one of my favorite. I forget what it's called. It's like the soprano salad. It's from, I don't know if it's.
Is it literally the soprano salad?
It might be Maddie Matheson. Yeah, I'll find it. But anyways, it had chickpeas in it and all that stuff. It was great.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what's on. Then we had chicken wings the night before. Tonight we got to be quick with it though because we have the practice.
Yeah, we had our last practice tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you guys are done soon. We're even clear. We're not even.
Yeah, like this is our last week. Well, then we have a tournament. It's like the last year-end thing on Saturday. But then we get one more practice. It's always fun, but I miss it. Like I don't know. To me, the idea of baseball ending in August is it's a little early to be done with baseball. Give me a break. But now Erin just always wants to go to the. There's a basketball hoop at her school, so she takes advantage of the fact I'm not a gimp, and we can go practice some hoops.
Yeah, shoot some.
Which is mostly me just grabbing some rebounds, but then she tries to shoot, which is awesome.
You get the ball all the way up, yeah.
Oh well, see, here's the thing. The last time we went, she wanted to use because at her age, you should be using the mini ball.
Right.
Because that's the only way you'll actually learn proper technique.
Right, and better for dribbling, her hands are smaller.
But now she wants to use an actual basketball.
Yeah, because the kids in the yard.
And I told her, I go, look, you're not going to be able to shoot it properly. She can get it up to the rim because her school has a lowered rim. It's a great school.
So it'd be good for Vikram, for example.
Well, he can't dunk.
One of our friends.
Our friend.
You make fun of him. He thought he could dunk, and he's about He's about 5'4", and he is he 5'4"? Maybe he's
he's at least five. He's at least five and a half, 5'6",
5'7",
maybe 5'7".
I don't know. Anyways,
I'm putting my head down.
He was about 4 feet clear of dunking that ball.
It comes down to the fact he's not very athletic. That's all.
Well, he says he's a swimmer.
He's a great swimmer.
Yeah, okay.
He's a really good swimmer.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
No, he was on the swim team in high school. I remember, like, he's a good
swim
swimmer.
team?
Yeah. Not that I was on it, but he was on the swim team. My brother's girlfriend was on the swim team. That's why I know this.
I didn't even know we had a swim team.
No, my brother's girlfriend was on the swim team. That's why I know we had it. He was also on the team, and he's a good swimmer.
I swim every day.
But dude came out he would come to track practice.
Not today.
He was on the
today.
hurdle team. And let's just say, when I remember seeing him practice, I'm like, this guy's talking about a dunking
Yeah,
net?
Erie Pages. This guy's not Allen Iverson, okay? He's like saying Allen Iverson was 5'7" as well. Was he? Was he that small, Allen Iverson? No, he was 5'10". 5'10", 5'11", Allen Iverson.
He's not.
5'7" is like Muggsy Bogues style, isn't it?
No, Bogues.
You watch. We're gonna look it up, and Allen Iverson probably.
No,
is
Muggsy Bogues
5'7".
5'3". Spud Webb was 5'6" or 5'7".
All right, let's
back to the market. This market's kind of
let's review some of the winners today.
Here.
So we had Shopify. Shopify was absolutely huge, man. Ever since switching over to the Nasdaq, man, they used to be an NY stock. They switched over to the Nasdaq. They are just absolutely on fire. All-time highs again, up 21%. As Shopify up more than 15%, up 20%. Now my notes say 15 again. Surprising profit there, plus rate. So they beat on top and bottom, and they had a generous revenue outlook. So there goes Shopify upside again, a Canadian company, known for the electronic transactions on websites, building of websites. They also have that like tap little machine. I've seen a few restaurants around here using that as well. And of course, A-Lab with a huge move upside today as Astera keeps climbing up there. 20% here or more, 30% right now. Demand for AI chips continue to accelerate. These are data center revenues, so Astera Labs just continues to get pumped up higher as data centers continue to be pretty hot. Arista Networks, a very, very similar vein there. Up again, huge, another 15% for these guys as they've broken through that level of 120 now. Looks like they're going to have a good move. Again, cloud infrastructure, data centers, and sales upbeat with a nice positive earnings call. So that's sending that one through the moon as well. And of course, McDonald's probably using AI, but their story is not going to be AI. This is same store sales expected or exceeding expectations. So, that's always good. They're not worried about new locations. Their same store sales, which means their menu. We sort of talked a little bit about this. Upside rate there. Nothing wrong with some McDonald's I guess this is not health conscious. Just, some people do choose it there. They do have the good breakfast. Coffees, I like the coffee there. We don't eat it too often. There's a big talk there about the Nuggets over this past weekend. Still a fan favorite of many players on our baseball team. The girls like the Nuggets over there. And you mentioned also that they were maybe doing a new Happy Meal format. We'll see how that kicks
Adult
out.
Happy Meal or whatever that works out to.
Uber actually, thankfully, not as disappointing here of a day as potentially there was earlier on. We got as high as $91. Looked like we were trying to break that 92. I think this will be tomorrow's trade today for Uber. Tomorrow will be my last day of the week. We'll see if Uber can break through $92. $20 billion buyback.
The question is, does it matter if Lyft has a bad print?
Yes.
That's the thing.
I mean, if Lyft is bad and talks a little bit more about Waymo and what was that, Zoox, Amazon there, got the okay for their autonomous driving as well. I don't know if that hurts Uber or not.
I talk a lot of
drivers.
I trash Lyft, and every time Lyft earnings come, I say they don't matter, and Uber is the one. Candidly, I own Uber, I don't own Lyft, but we were all really impressed. Like what Lyft did last quarter was insanity, and you remember if you were watching trading this, it went nuts. It went absolutely gangbusters. So I do feel like Uber already is setting up pretty well. If Lyft is to the upside, I think Uber, you're gonna like it, and Lyft will be great. My concern is if Lyft is to the downside any fraction of what it did last time to the upside, I'd be concerned about just completely the sympathy play of wanting to be long Uber on a day like that. Because the move was so huge that if Lyft is bad, and it's bad to the tone of doing 20 or 30%, which it's fully capable of moving, then I don't see how Uber has a good day, despite the fact I'd like the quarter, I like the $20 million buyback, I like the fact that they're getting deals from everybody. wanting to go autonomous because they know they absolutely have to. Yeah, I just think it's a stock that works. I just wish it was working a little bit more cleanly today on earnings, and I'm concerned that what if LYFT is really bad tomorrow.
You know what? I want to check out Shake Shack. Shake Shack is super expensive, by the way, but they just missed on theirs report as well. So they gapped down to the low side there, despite what Josh Brown is saying. Can't get that stock to go higher.
That's one of his picks too?
Yeah, I mean, it'll go up once he starts talking about it, but yeah, right now Shake Shack to the downside. I just want to bring that up because that was another stop that we made there in Boston. And those are basically all the names on earnings that are to the upside here. Let's just talk about some names that are to the downside. I mean, SMCI again down now over 19%, but has been on a little bit of a rebound here throughout the day. We do find that bottom around $45. We'll see if that can stick. Both revenue and earnings missing. Not a great guide as well, and just, you know, when you do have that valuation behind it and you guide and miss, lower, not good. SMCI taken out today. And some, you know, other names that have been hit on the back end of this, I saw earlier anyways, was Dell. Yeah, so almost a complete recovery there, but still down 2% for Dell. I think this is a little bit of a safer name just because SMCI had those accounting issues, and I don't know if it's well trusted. I'm not sure how many investors are flying to pick up Snap for sure, but SMCI for long term. Snapchat's down again 18% right now after admitting to ad pricing glitches. So yeah, their revenue's not great there. Again, Snapchat down, and average revenues per user also down. Did I just hear that Jensen Huang is meeting with Trump?
I heard I think I heard.
Well, that would be a good sign. And Nvidia, just before we go over to Adair, because I just want to see this. So we're triple topping right here at 179.50. Well, I put in a buy. Oh, that was a Tesla at 320. 179.50 looking good to me, man. I'll take that break on Nvidia if there's going to be news. So yeah, let's go find out what that exactly was from Adair. And I'm going to get my order set up for 179.50. Not moving. Maybe we'll hold off. Let's see what that was.
It couldn't have been because it's not moving.
Looks like it's not that he's meeting with President Trump. Apparently, CEO Jensen Huang already met with President Trump today, as reported by CNBC. It's worth noting the last time we heard of the meeting between Trump and Jensen Huang, the date was kind of confusing. Some people were saying it had already happened. Some people were saying it was going to happen. Regardless, it sounds like here, according to CNBC, Trump and Jensen Huang have already met today. Keep an eye out here on NVDA. Unclear what they're discussing, but we do know there have been some issues with regards to the approval for these chips leaving the U.S. for China. We know the Commerce Department, according to some reports, has been slow in actually granting these license applications, even though the government has theoretically given NVIDIA the all clear. Back to you.
Now, we're almost in. The other name, so I've just put that order in. That's good enough to me. We just need something. I mean, the market's 320. We could see we can go. The market's trying to break the highs as well right now. That might actually be a better play than you don't have to worry about individual stocks. But here it goes. The other name that we're trying to get long to is Tesla. It's about to break right now. So get ready, man. We're ready to fire them all up right now. We've got Tesla breaking 320. When that happens, we're good. See, so there you go. So there's some big size on the level 2. You can see right there, 100,000 shares. But it's done 60. Gone. So it's done 64 million. We are now long at 12s on Tesla. So let's take advantage of that. Yes, sir. There it is. We'll spin it for 40 cents early. Let's go to the upside goes Tesla. We're long right now at 320 12s. We got that price. So there it goes. Let's see if it wants to work out. Early trading on Tesla. Early on the break. I don't know if it's going to go up, but a quick little out. I'm always taking out like 10% on that first little punch. There, because see, that's an example, Erie Pages, where I used a routing key. We have Fox River, so I use that key to get long. That's going to cost me $2 per 1,000 shares, not $2,000. It's going to cost me $2 per 1,000 shares to get that. And then when I offer it out, I make half of that back right there. And then we have another trade alert happening as well. There goes Nvidia going long through the top. So we'll put an offer there in and around that same level of 60. And then we'll see if we can get an out now on Nvidia. Just taking, again, we'll take 5 to 10% out on these early bumps. And there it goes right now. So there we go. We are now out of Nvidia. And see, regardless of what gateway we use, we get punched into there. So there we go, man. Going 2 for 2 temporarily. I don't know where these stocks are going to go, but we'll take some outs there on Tesla and on Nvidia. I mean, I hope you guys have them. We talked about them. There they go. Nice little upside play for both of them, giving me now 15 cents on Nvidia and a little bit of love there on Tesla as well. So
yeah, so far. The second I heard that Nvidia Jensen thing, I tightened the stop on AMD. AMD gave us a 50-penny move, but if Nvidia is going to break the high of the day, that's not the moment to think home run on AMD. So like I tightened my stop to the prior bar high from break even just to make sure we grab the profit. Because as far as I'm concerned, like you don't want to be like Nvidia is doing that candle. Whether this continues or not, it's a good enough reason, especially at 320, to just jump out of the trade. If it sets up again, don't mind it. It's like, again, AMD was the only thing I was looking at that moment. Also Palantir, but Palantir is literally doing nothing. It's that's just how it is, man. And I'm not saying that AMD has to move with Nvidia. It's just you know how algos work. If Nvidia is breaking the high, to some degree, there are going to be two things that happen. One, offers are going to lift to a certain extent on the offer on AMD, period. And there's going to be some algos that are starting to buy it up a little bit. So you're going to probably get a green candle. I just don't want it continuing back in. So I'm just going to jump out of that one. Chat Trader says, look at SMCI. Is it, off of VWAP? Yeah. Breaking the trend off of, why is my trade, there it is. I never take my drawing tool off because I'm always doing it. Yet I'll flip charts and sometimes it's not, it doesn't really matter. But bouncing off the volume weighted average price and breaking trend to the upside. I like that. You get the sympathy play in the chips, but it hasn't closed above the trend line. So it's held VWAP, but the trend from the top hasn't really been broken yet. I want confirmation that we're going to go. Nvidia's still going, so that's good. I don't want Nvidia to be pulling back. Otherwise, I don't want to get long.
I just want to tell people I took double the shares in Nvidia. They're both up 20 cents, so it doesn't matter. Double the shares right now on Nvidia than I did on Tesla. I just, it's a triple top. It's a break there. We've made, my career. I would say I probably made more money on Nvidia, but that's not why. It's today. It's just about trusting that break there and going with something that I feel a little bit better about. We do have an easy out there at 179 as well. So 50 cents worth of risk there for Nvidia when it's $1 worth of risk for Tesla. So just to give you a little bit of an example of the risk there. And I am going to put on the same amount of shares if it comes back right into here, into the 50-period moving average. We're going to buy some 319.50s if it does fall down there. So there we go, 2 outs. So first out at 35, next out at 40. We'll wait to see if we can climb higher. But here we go right now, man. We are trying to cook it up right now. We're trying to top off a little bit. Let's take a little bit more out here at 68. Okay, we get the fill there on Nvidia. Hopefully we can continue to climb a little bit higher here. NVDA, let's see if we go. I mean, again, like the stock, like the movement here, like that story. We're putting it up, man. We've had nothing, honestly. Rivian hasn't, I told you about Rivian. We'll be red on Rivian, but at the end of the day, it's also not doing anything. Hard to make money back when nothing's happening. But we did, oops, I'm still on that. We did take advantage. What am I doing? I don't know why we're still, oh no, we're not on that anymore. We took good advantage of this move down into the 60s. Was hoping to get more though. So we'll wait to see if Rivian does come back into the close. Maybe we do have a little bit of a dump, but there it goes, man. It's Tesla not doing much on that break, but it's Nvidia giving me everything it needs to give right now. Up 25 cents right now on that break. So with a risk of 50 cents, a little bit more than that, we're out right now of 30%. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher here on Nvidia. And again, to me, we're 20 minutes away from those imbalances. We put this call on, and unlike other traders, Neil and myself, hopefully everybody here on the show realizes that, like, we talked about this play when it was down here at 179. We zoomed out, we found this play, we took it live. It was a fill that anybody could have got. So, I mean, again, this is not like, let me pump a stock up and have everybody else punch me out for liquidity like potentially some YouTubers do. We're trading this together. I'm in this right now. I punched long, marketed in as you guys were watching. So there's the fill right there. We even told you about what gateway I used and everything. So here we go. Nice upside
Use
there.
Fox River.
Yeah, exactly. I use Fox River there. And same on Tesla. All my punch-ins are all the same. It's just a routing key. So there it goes. And the same thing is true for Tesla, right? I mean, these are trades that we've just put on together. So let's see if they work out. Nvidia and Tesla. Right now, there goes Nvidia. We're going to wait for 180, and then we'll get out at 179.90 or so. And we'll go from there. We just took it out at 85. What's up? Adara, I believe.
Yeah, guys, just so you know, we have tons of earnings coming after the bell in case you missed it, and you can catch the expected move and expected release time for all of these on X at TTV Research. As you can see, all of these are pretty large expected moves with the exception of Occidental. The next smallest expected move here is Airbnb, 7.7%. Largest by far, Duolingo, as per usual. We're expecting a 17% move. AppLovin here, 14.8%. Dutch Bros, 15%. Most of these are double-digit expected moves. So check this out on X at TTV Research to kind of get a sense of what's reporting tonight and what type of move we are expecting based on the options market. Back to you.
I was just telling Sean this. When my wife and daughter were camping for a week with my in-laws. It's portage camping. I don't do that trip. Also because I got to be here and can't take off infinite time. No, every single day they weren't getting signals. So I had to do to keep her streak alive. I had to do Duolingo.
Oh, right.
Like one of these lessons a day. And it's like thankfully she's doing math and French because I couldn't like the French stuff. Like I know it's easy, but I suck at languages. But Duolingo
I don't think it's that easy.
has cracked the code. I'm telling you.
was bitching about it for some reason.
Well, no, I will tell you this.
I don't know what it was.
Erin was not that into like first year French immersion.
Yep.
You're just kind of like whatever. But the second she got Duolingo, like she wants to do the lesson.
That's nice.
And her French is getting really good. Like I said, it's. I mean, to say it's better than mine is not saying anything because I'm terrible at it. I can read a little bit of French.
It's good for your brain. I mean, obviously, that's
great for your
all becoming useless because of AI. But it's
Yeah.
good to train. I mean, I would love
Speaking
to
of
learn more
which.
languages. That's for sure.
When you go to Europe, while we're in Europe, go to anywhere, like they have everything in English if you need it, but we're at a couple of museums where they didn't have English, and it's just like pull your phone out, and I'm sitting there just reading.
Yeah, and you don't want to do. So, I mean, sometimes it's nice to. No, I agree with you. Especially those Ray-Ban glasses right now. You can just sort of look at something and automatically
Easy peasy.
tells you where you're at and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we just got our reload there on Tesla. So now you're seeing our average price at $319.80 right now. This is, holding this position is putting me negative on the stock, but we'll wait to see. It's the only trade we have is that 320 break, and I told you it was not even a unit. It wasn't a huge position, so we'll wait to see if this does break down through 318, and if it does, I'm gone. Honestly, the 200 periods at, breaking through 319. I don't really want to hold this too much. We don't have too many shares. We could hold this, but I'm not going to. All right, now the market's coming down quite nicely as well. So yeah, we have to be a little careful on what we're thinking about with this stock. So I'm going to punch myself out if and when that breaks itself off right there. So yeah, be careful with this play if you're in it with me. That is Tesla. Nvidia is trying to turn around as well, by the way, but that's still holding up. We actually got more out up there when we saw that turn around. I only have half of my Nvidia position right now.
Yeah, but you know what? SMCI doesn't work, and this is the beauty of it. I know you were just talking about like the live fills. It's simple: trend break, prior bar. In this particular case, I'm just going to show you because what I always say is trend break, prior bar, low. In this case, the candle with a prior bar is actually the low of the current bar is lower when I got in, so I use that as the stop. It's a distinction without much of a difference, but when I want this breaking trend, I want it to go right away. It doesn't happen. It's similar to like AMD. Like when AMD broke that all-day trend, which admittedly, I didn't even get a good fill on the all-day trend break. Like I was late to the move. It started going down right away, and it continued going down right away. Even though that Nvidia break got me out of the trade, it's just you want to see a trend break work right. That's the whole idea. The whole idea of a trend reversal is that people are using stops there. Like someone that's long has big stops, and they're all triggering to stop out or trail out when you get that trend break. So you want it to work right away. When it doesn't, you jump out and move on to something else. The other thing that's going to happen in a couple of seconds here is we hopefully will get some updates on some early imbalances. I'm hoping Paramount shows up. Candidly, they're supposed to be deleted today, PARA. But no gigantic early looks. Ford's there for 1.5 million to sell. HPE for $1 million to sell. TSLZ for anyone that's interested. That shows up every once in a while.
Yep.
600,000 to the sell side, but nothing too big on the early look imbalances as we get into 3:30. So about 20 minutes until the imbalances come out. The market is The market's pumping in a general sense, but we're not really getting a lot of volatility with it. Thank you, Joe Ventura.
Oh.
Let's throw 5 in the kitty for the great and timely reports and graphics from Adara.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words and for the support for the show.
Yep, great job. Thanks, thanks to Darren. Thank you for the super chat there, Mr. Ventura.
Yeah, Joe Ventura, right? And absolutely, because you don't want to trade blind.
No.
I hesitate to say you can't trade blind. I don't remember. Like I remember there was a time we used to have a news squawk, and I remember there was a period where we lost our news squawk.
Yeah.
I forget what it was.
And you feel like, oh my God.
And it was just weird to not have any access. And this is all when you couldn't go on to Twitter. There was no Twitter or anything. If you didn't have a news squawk sitting on a trading desk, that was it. You were literally trading blind. You could have a TV on, but that was no good because it was too delayed. There was nothing like this with Adair giving it to you for free. That's free. Like, you guys can just watch this and get breaking news anytime you want instead of paying for a Bloomberg terminal or whatever news service you're going to pay for. Probably no one here is paying for a Bloomberg terminal, and if you are, congratulations. But hit the like just for that. And we're going to do the same thing with earnings. We're going to come right back, and we're going to go through all of the earnings in real time, answer any question you guys want after 4 o'clock on any of the names that report. And Adair's like super hot fire. I don't even know how she does it so fast, to be honest. Everybody, she's absolutely the best at it. So she kicks butt. No questions asked. It was what was the one that we used? I was trying to remember the one we used 20 years ago. I know we used to use the live news, but that was the squawk, the future squawk.
Yeah.
The Ben Lichtenstein.
Yeah.
And everybody, traders all knew the name because he would sit in the CME pit and he would read the futures quotes, but he wasn't a news service. He was just in the pit at the CME. Yeah. There was an actual news service that we used. I don't remember.
I don't remember the service, but yeah, we had it for a while and was paying for it. It was well received for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nvidia worked, Tesla didn't. Basically, I mean, there's that 320 break, and I was telling you that I trust. I mean, I even said it here. I trusted Nvidia more than Tesla, but still, Tesla breaks and not good, right? I mean, we don't ever want to lose on something like that. But we talked about the amount of shares that we were using, so on and so forth, and it was not a whole bunch. So not the end of the world there. We'll actually pretty much be. We'll wind up losing more on on Tesla than we're made so far on Nvidia, but Nvidia is still trying to go back upside. We didn't get that reload down there. It just came back into our level again, so no reload available for Nvidia right there. So we'll have to just sort of wait to see what happens. It's 330 now. Tesla is falling off, but the thing about it is you're right at that 200 period moving average. This is more likely not more likely, I mean, this is technically a better level to get long as we've sort of held the 200 period there. We did drip down to it and bounced off VWAP. You don't want to hold the VWAP today right now. That's 316, but the market is going higher here, so that's great for the Nvidia trade. We might as well just get out of Rivian right now. I don't even need to worry too much about this name, so why don't we just bid out of it? We'll just put it all, I'll cancel everything, put it all at 74, see if we do get that fill on Rivian. Apple, we got out because it did take down 214 just now as well. So if you're looking and thinking like, what happened to that Apple trade? Well, it just fell out of the tree and now came back in right there, breaking back down. But we only have one trade on Apple, and that was going long on that 308 break. And that 308 break was right here. We had missed it early. We wrote down 305. That is the low of the day, is 305 there on Apple. 305. 205 right there, but we missed that, and we had to take another price. So we took 08s. We just zoomed out and found that level, so that's why we were long at 08. When we go from 08 up to 14s, you're doing pretty good on that trade, so happy with the way that performed overall. But yeah, other than that, just trying to find something else going on there. A $50 break on HIMS, sure. We can have a quick look at what's going on HIMS right now. Again, some Novo Nordisk back and forth there. People were saying that they weren't part of that Novo Nordisk sort of look from HIMS, but you could see yesterday bad on earnings, or 2 days ago, and then again today as well. As HIMS coming into $50. Zooming out on that one, 50 is not super key. We've been here before, but yeah, it was more of that break right there, $54. I think we should have looked at that for sure. That was a good break there. Boom, right back in, and now you're going to look for this kind of a break right there, 46, 47. That could be coming out tomorrow for sure, in and around there for HIMS. So not a great little look there as we go, but that's just another stock. Nvidia still making that move. Eli Lilly, we just talked about Novo Nordisk. This is still bouncing around that 750 mark. So I'm in my most recent buy at 750. All right, well, it went up again. Like, silly me, man. We bought it right down here at 750, 760. It goes up there to 820 again. We don't get anything out, and then it falls back down.
Tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, they're with earnings, right? Oh,
Eli Lilly reports tomorrow morning.
That's probably not going to be good.
That's,
there's not going to be a huge move there, probably.
Well, it could get really spicy on Eli Lilly. Especially, well, for Novo as well, because any weakness in Lilly is going to really punk Novo, and that's been a weak stock. Like, I love Eli Lilly, but there's just been something going on here at the 700 level, and whatever it is, there's a buyer at 700, right? Like, we've all seen it. You can see it on the daily chart. It's like the what if Eli Lilly loses that bid. If it loses that bid, it's they are that sector. They're the winner everybody wants. I feel like if it loses 700, you could have a pretty distinct move to the downside. I've already trimmed up here, so my long-term account, I'm not selling any more of Eli Lilly. I've already done that as far as I'm concerned. So it's a matter of, is it worth buying back at 700 after these earnings, or is it worth waiting for another level? They're not the only ones pre-market that matters. Well, I shouldn't say Eli Lilly matters a heck of a lot more than D-Wave. I'm not even remotely comparing the two. One company doesn't make any money. Their revenue's probably less than most people's salaries. I don't even know if they had much revenue. I think it was like tens of thousands of dollars was their revenue last time. Maybe 100 grand, maybe 150. I don't know. But in the quantum space, it's a mover, and nothing moved more on their earnings in this space than QBTS. So D-Wave, they're going to be a big one tomorrow morning. I think it'd be cool if they did it in the aftermarket show, but hey, we got plenty aftermarket anyways.
Neil and I sit here and we talk about charting and looking at different levels, and you always see us zoom out to have a better look at different names, weekly charts, monthly charts, 1 second charts. They're all available right here with eSignal. Make sure you do scan that QR code right in front of you right now, and if you do that, you get your month free. So I would scan that, go over there, have a look, and again, it's entitlement based, so you can tell them you want to trade the Zitra market there, or Milan, or Helsinki, anything. We showed those numbers up. They have access to all of those quotes, and charting full capabilities. So I would definitely, over 500 symbols, the hot list is really great. We'll talk about that with the trade rate and some of the scanners that they have. Fantastic. They connect over 50 plus brokers, different availabilities in the App Store. The ability to code too, if you want to code things in, like Neil was talking about, halt bands. Oh, by the way, I forgot to look those up. I'm sure there are halt bands on eSignal already, but it's those type of things that they have a huge knowledge base.
Go on the iPad.
I would definitely scan that. Trade smarter, not harder. Get going with eSignal. And again, we do use them on our after show, so you'll be seeing more charts. And I know Adara's flashing some of those charts as well with eSignal. So we really like it, and it's been very, very reliable for all of us here. I've been using them for over 20 years and really like the back testing features. Trust in eSignal, I do, and so should you. eSignal, get your month free from eSignal. Okay, so Nvidia is still having a hard time. It doesn't want to break 180, but I think it still will. We have 12 minutes until those imbalances come through. IBIT on a nice run today. I mean, Bitcoin back up to 15 and change. Looks like it wants to hold. I haven't been doing a great job of following it there today, but 65 and change, holding. Very similar to, what was it, Tesla or something that was riding this 200 period moving average to the upside. It looks like it wants to continue to do that. So IBIT and Ethereum, there's still a place in everybody's portfolio for crypto. But we did that study before on our chat, and we were talking about whether or not traders were holding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it was pretty light. On our chat, less than 50% were in Bitcoin. I think that number is surprising to me, that's for sure. Thought it would have been a little bit higher than that, but IBIT right now to the upside. The banks have been going through something lately with some downgrades and some negative talk. Who had his negative call on BAC the other day? I forget what that was.
I don't remember the analyst.
But yeah, there was something. No, there was an analyst too. Oh, it was Berkshire. There was something with BAC, but XLF there making a move down right on the 200 period moving average. I think you could buy the banks, especially in a rate. Look, in a rate cutting environment, does spruce more business.
I'd
for
still
them.
buy I try to like the banks over XLF.
You talked
I like
about
the
that.
banks. I don't love XLF as
Morgan
much
hovering
anymore.
around.
Like, I feel like that Jimmy Carter pick thing. It's like, if cause we made those picks, it's like, oh, you got to pick it, and that's it for the year. But there's no chance that I wouldn't be, like, if we're redoing it, I'd be selling XLF and I'd just pick a bank to go in or something like that. I don't know. Like, I still like the banks. I just don't want to be in the credit card names. I wish it was something which could replace the credit card names. I said this before. Replace the credit card names, put an equal amount of Robinhood and Coinbase in there, and
then you're good.
And then I'd be good to go. Instead, you just have to own them all, which I hope Robinhood will eventually give a dip, which it's not doing. So I'm not going to own any Robinhood.
You will.
I'm not buying it up here. I'm no chance I'm buying Robinhood.
What's going on with Pan W? We'll talk about Pan W in a minute, but we do got to get to it. Let's go to it. Is?
Yeah, it's up big today. Let's go to Adara.
A couple percentage points, I think. Okay.
I didn't have any news on Palo Alto Networks. I just want to mention that off the jump. I did look earlier, could not find anything. Let's talk about banks, because in addition to Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang reportedly meeting with President Trump, we have some CEOs from banks at the White House. CNBC reporting that Jane Fraser, CEO of Citigroup, apparently was seen at the White House, though it is unclear if she met with Trump himself or just was at the White House separately. CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, reportedly seen in the vicinity of the White House. Unclear if he went into the White House, but apparently Jane Fraser, CEO of Citigroup, was actually physically in the building. Also, in terms of these Jimmy Carter picks, I feel like no one is really allowed to complain if they did not pick UNH, which I did. Back to you.
Thank you very much. We'll always thank you, Adara.
I picked the Dow.
I just understood. So someone asked a question like, I think that what they meant was, do midpoints suppress winning trades? The thing about, I'm assuming you're talking about dark pool mid prints, or are you literally talking specifically about like big gateways that you can take the midpoint on? Because if you're talking about the latter, not really. At the end of the day, like there's stocks that if they trade with big chunks on the midpoint, like the literal inside midpoint of the 1 cent spread, then it's because it's a stock like this, like Lucid, which is like it's not really doing anything. But the midpoint, it's more about the access to liquidity. Like so long as you have access to all of the liquidity, the momentum is the same game. What ends up happening a lot of times, and this happens to us on Figma. Like I think since you have more dark pools, you're missing some breakout trades in terms of getting fills. Why? Because a lot of the executions are happening in the dark, and sometimes at that midpoint of the spread. And if you're sweeping the book, you're not going to be as fast to get them as the algos, all that kind of stuff. So you're missing some breakout and breakdown trades. Not in the Teslas of the world; those are still fine. More so in things like Figma or CoreWeave or thin stocks. I've seen it happen on ARM. And that can be the issue. It's executing in and out of trades. As far as it affecting the trade, it doesn't really. It just affects your ability to execute, especially if you don't have access to some of the dark pools. But if you mean those like little stocks like NIO, for a lot of traders, it just means, I've seen this happen where in this situation, great. That just means instead of getting 62, you can get 62.5 sometimes short. And if the stock goes 4 cents, you're getting an extra 10% out of that move, effectively. So the midpoints can be an advantage if you have access to them. But if you mean dark pools in general, yeah, it kind of sucks because we miss fills on Figma multiple times. And I can tell you before you had all this in the dark stuff, you didn't miss, like day traders didn't miss fills on the break, the 110 break the other day. No way you missed that breakdown. Like you're getting it. It breaks at 110, we're getting that break short. It's just that 85 break, like you're getting that fill. Unfortunately, that's just something you have to adjust to, and you make sure you use the right key, cross a little bit further, which means if you're crossing 50 cents and you might have to pay down, then you just have to use a bigger stop and less shares because you don't want to give it as much, and you're not going to get that same fill. So you just adjust to it at the end of the day. By the way, wow, Figma, 13% to the upside.
Yeah, Figma.
I just noticed
that.
Now. And go Amazon.
Yeah, with 21s? What is it at?
21s, yeah. 222 looks like the high of the day on Amazon-ish. Yeah, 221.95. Only 5 minutes till the imbalances. Yeah, I'll be mad because the only thing we tried two things this afternoon. One of them was AMD and one of them was SMCI. Even if I held on to AMD, the whole move was about 60 or 70 cents that you could have grabbed. So nothing that big at the close. And if I look back at SMCI and that trend break, this is the one. Like when I say I'm not mad about AMD, but SMCI, that did go. It's weird. SMCI, it didn't go right away. That's the tricky thing because I said on a trend break, I'm not really going to be too crazy about it on the time frame. I want it to be going right away. Instead, it broke the trend, bounced off VWAP, and the trade was off the volume weighted average price. So slap the L on SMCI. AMD was okay. Tesla also. What did Tesla?
I'm gonna get out some more right now of.
What about Tesla? Someone
Well,
just
it
said
broke 320.
No, in the chat, someone said Tesla also Neil, but I didn't trade Tesla this afternoon.
Tesla also. Whatever you were saying, probably maybe something similar to what Tesla. So I was in Tesla. We see we got out there. Yeah, so it's still at the same price. I just got out some more Nvidia right there at 70s or 73, just because we do have those imbalances coming through. But I'm really excited for this name tonight. We'll check out some AppLovin. Look, AppLovin tonight expecting $1.99. I think they could beat that. They're up 124% year over year, so that's great. Right now, there's continued strength in the ad-supported business, right? I mean, we already know that from Meta. So I think that this stock could get going to the upside. That, I mean, for sure, like no doubt about it. There with AppLovin, I'm pretty positive about what to expect there. We also have DoorDash coming through tonight as well. Let me check up that symbol. What DoorDash is looking for, again, recent inclusion, I think, into the S&P 500, right? Or was it Nasdaq 100? It was one of those.
S&P.
But yeah, S&P. So DoorDash right there. Good expectation, 42 cents. Year-over-year rise. Obviously the stock has performed real well there since that bottom, 155 up to 255. If you go all the way back to January, you're $155 stock. So, up almost 60% or so, or more than that year to date. So a nice little move there. They're expecting a massive increase, man, over 210% year over year on their EPS. So if they can get that, then giddy up on there. This, I think, has been a pretty warm summer, so we'll have to see what Airbnb has to project forward moving there. I don't know. I expect a good print from them, but they have pulled back. And again, regulatory issues always seems to haunt Airbnb. It hasn't been well received. I know some condos don't like to have Airbnbs being rented there.
We used Weebull the last time we went to the
States. But Weebull, I guess all the same. It's just a matter
We always use Airbnb. It's the first time we ever used Weebull.
I've actually never used it, so I don't know.
You've never done Airbnb?
No.
Okay.
FTNT. I don't really travel, right? I mean, we just do. When we ever go on these
tournaments, though, you
but that's
Well, when you do a tournament, you teams stay in a hotel.
Plus, they want the pool.
Although I'm just saying,
my daughter would kill me if she was at a different hotel than everybody else.
But if you get like a really pimp, I'm sure. Well, it's probably hard to get an Airbnb to fill the entire team. You have to be,
I'm not no team manager. Someone else can do that. But Fortinet coming. We talked about how good PanW was today, but again, Palo Alto been hit on their recent cyber arc play, but that's Fortinet. Yeah, so Fortinet right here coming into play. PanW looks similar. I think PanW even broke. Did it break
support?
Yeah, it broke its 200 period, man. You're like thinking that wasn't PanW, but I maybe wish it was.
It is.
There's Palo Alto right there. So see what I'm saying?
Ours is not split adjusted.
Oh, yeah. All right. But anyways, there goes Palo Alto right back into these support levels. I recently bought some of this name. So I like the space. I like CrowdStrike. I think Zscaler as well could be a play for sure. And then that's about, Airbnb-AppLovin. I think we just covered some of the big names there. So that's what we're sort of looking forward to here today. And I think it could be good. So.
If you're a small cap lover, though, SoundHound, and it's 30.
SoundHound is
33% short flow. Oh, it's tomorrow? Oh,
come on, Neil.
Oh, I was excited for that one. I was excited for SoundHound.
I can tell.
If it's over 30, if you're over a 25% short float, then it's one of those. It's an automatic. Regardless of direction, it goes onto your list to look for a trade the next day. Automatically. It just doesn't even, I don't care, up, down, left, right, as long as it doesn't do anything. That's disappointing. ELF is,
Oh, yeah, ELF.
ELF
I like ELF Cosmetics. What does that chart look like?
Well, you know what?
Your take on ELF over here.
What's crazy, so ELF was like LYFT, ELF was a nonsensical move last earnings. Just absolutely nonsensical. And if you look at the bottom is already into this stock, so you can pretty much, that ship has sailed and it sailed a long time ago. I think the concern would be, hey, labor market worries, how much are you going to like anything in the retail space, if there's any kinks in the armor, for lack of a better term. But we just talked about the 200 period moving average. It's holding it, and it's holding support at 105. People always say like this is the one that you should own, this or Alta Beauty. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know which one is better, but I know they're both respected names.
Ulta Beauty is a retailer. ELF makes the cosmetics.
In the space, though. In the space.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and tell you which one is better to own. What I would tell you is I like this chart a lot on ELF. I've never day traded this stock, but I really, really like this chart if it can hold the 105. And it's the expected move is half what it was last. I think 13% expected move. It moved like double that last time. So this is one of those you want it on your radar as a trader. Ooh, and bounces, it just came out.
Bounces are out. Para, is there some index?
Para is it's a buyout that's being deleted.
Right.
So it could move a little bit. SMCI, though, that matters. 2.7 million to sell on SMCI. 2.7 million to sell on SMCI.
Yeah, that's big.
Intel is a sell of 1.9 million. Cisco 1.4 million. Snapchat was expected to be a buy of 1.4. It's nothing. Apple's a sell of 1.4. That's kind of nothing. 1.4 in Apple's not that big. And Walmart sell 1 million. Where's Nvidia?
I don't know. It's
900,000 on Nvidia. That's the smallest number we've seen all week on Nvidia. So pretty small imbalances there. And again, like I said, like Para immediately paired off to 5.
Para paired?
I'm going to probably try to throw it into the auction on that bad boy. I'm just going to try to take some shares and throw it into the auction. But if it's already pairing off, I don't want to add to it. Like I said, Snapchat 2.5 million. That's it. I'm surprised. I thought we'd see, especially with the Jensen thing at the end of the day there, maybe Nvidia would have a couple mil, but yeah, it's disappointing. Snapchat barely moved on that 2.5 mil. Moved what, 5 cents? Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, well, Snapchat's not going to do too much there.
Not really.
We got stopped. We didn't.
It's earnings. It's earnings too. Day one for Snapchat, right?
Yeah, that'll be a good one tomorrow. Apple with a slight sell as well. That's brought it all the way back to 214 for some reason. Didn't really go down anything there. Let's check out to see what Tesla's doing. But yeah, again, thank you for everything for today, man. I mean, it's been another big day, I feel like. Good thank you to the community. Over 700 likes right now on the stream. If you can hit the like, don't go anywhere. If any of those names are of interest to you or you want to just stay with Trader TV Live, we do have the after show today. Adara and Neil are going to be going over all of those prints. So get that going as well. 726 right there on the likes. We appreciate that. And you guys did a good job of putting out these. So Neil and I, of course, we review this. We're always looking at them. And we like to talk about these different names and what the plays have been on. Right there, there's Nvidia. Sorry, get this out of the way. Nvidia leads the way today and what you guys wanted us to talk about. AMD Pan W, I just sort of looked at that a little bit there, as a lot of people are subbing in for that. BMNR, the Ethereum Trust, AppLovin. I just said I really like the opportunity for that kind of a print. But again, huge move on the year. Watch out to see maybe a little bit of a pullback coming forward for AppLovin. HIMS on a nice move. We just saw that break. We're talking about 46 level for HIMS maybe coming into play at some point there as well. And then Tesla, back to 319 today. It does have that 320 blip right there. And we'll see if that comes back down again. But thanks to Fabian for building that stock visualizer. It's been a big one. Really popular as well and created some action on the chat. Walmart, okay, I was going to say, are we sub 100 yet? No, we are not. So a nice move there for Walmart. Wow, up 4% today. What's up with that? They didn't report or anything.
No, that's what's
up with that? I mean, there's Walmart up
Check
huge.
Costco maybe.
Yeah, I never found anything.
Costco
Don't even tell me. I didn't even buy any dips.
Costco 3%.
Yeah, shit.
Same chart.
Yeah, that's too bad because, whoa, yeah, darn it. I like Costco a lot. Should have bought that dip again. They're at the 200, close to the 200 period. You don't get many dips in Costco, and it looks like that was a good opportunity right there. SMR is earning tomorrow. Oh my! Are they before or after hours? SMR, because that should be another good stock.
They're at 4:15 p.m. tomorrow.
Tomorrow, so there you go. So SMR, big time movement happening over there. I would say tomorrow. So watch out for that. Thanks, Adara, for bringing that to our attention, or thanks to the chat actually for bringing that to our attention, and then Dara for confirming it tomorrow afternoon. SMR joined myself and Dara for tomorrow, Neil today. But yeah, it's 3:57 right now, so or 3:53, 7 minutes to go before these imbalances finish and the market closes. And not for long though. I think no matter how long the market's going to be open for, we talked about they're going to extend it. I still think they keep the 4 close and then reopen again at 6 or something like that. To reopen the market. So, all right, Neil, you got something to take care of.
Well, you know what? Even if you go 24-5 or whatever, swing trading is still going to be a thing. Yeah. And trading in general, of course. But you always have to have a strategy. And Trader Pool's got something new for everybody and special. It's an ebook which is free, and it's featuring 4 proven swing traders and their strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage their risk, and what setups they rely on. So you can learn and grow from what actually works. Download now by scanning the QR code on screen or hitting the link in the description. Shout out to Trade the Pool. We appreciate them for sure. So, yeah, I wish I knew what was going on with Costco, man. And, well, it's not just Costco. It's Costco and Walmart. Just absolutely wild, both those names. So it doesn't really matter, but someone had a program buy on Walmart. This automatically goes on the radar to be watching, see if it makes the actual push to the 52-week high tomorrow. That's a great breakout above $100. You can't rewind, like you can't go back in time or anything, but that's a great look if it can get past 106 on Walmart. You never buy enough of these things on the dips. That's one thing I've always learned. I bought it a couple times. I bought them when I was at spring training. Probably should have bought a couple more times. I'm just going to punch out or get on the bid of this Lucid. It's not going anywhere. Let's go to Adara. We only have 3 minutes to go.
Oh, no.
4 minutes.
Another name that's reporting earnings before the bell tomorrow is Eli Lilly, a personal favorite of mine. So I want to take a look here at this company's revenue growth. They've been around since the 1860s. They went public in 1952, so I don't have all that data. But just starting in the year 2000, you could already see the incredible growth this company's had, especially once we start adding the GLPs into the mix in the early 2020s. Take a look at this infographic on X at TTV Research, and in the post, I also have our EPS and revenue estimate for tomorrow's report. Back to you.
All right,
How many years did we just, what?
1960s.
1860. I didn't know
1860.
that.
I don't think many did, man. I would have never have guessed that. Yeah, it's true. They were founded by now an old man. Yeah, so Eli
I'll say that about a lot of
will be very, very... R.I.P. Colonel Eli Lilly.
Before
I didn't know.
No, that's completely news to me.
We were calling it Miss Lilly before. Now
Well, Adara calls it Miss Lilly.
yeah, the stock. Yeah, I was saying, but now it's
Miss
supposed to be Mr. Lilly. Apparently.
We got a super chat here. Before I get up to the desk, I got to get up there in a quick second. Why aren't Dogecoin and Shiba making all-time highs, but Bitcoin is? Do you think it's true that all coins are about 6 months behind BTC's chart patterns? A, yes. B, I think that's the norm. I'm not the crypto expert, but usually most of the cycles do have Bitcoin moving first and then the alts going after the fact and sort of down the line. ETH is getting a lot of love because the stablecoin push and most of the stable all built on the Ethereum platform. So that's specific to ETH. But I don't look at Dogecoin or Shiba, but that's not abnormal that they would trail moves in Bitcoin. So that makes sense to me. Thank you. You can do X. Why not?
Yeah.
You can do it. But in a couple of minutes, we're going to be going over all of the earnings tonight. We have a wealth of names to cover. A couple we'll look forward to tomorrow morning as well, which Eli Lilly's going to be a biggie. No questions asked. Please don't lose 700, Eli. Please don't lose 700. It might be an interesting trade, but if you hold it in your long term, that's a pretty big level. So hopefully we don't actually test that. I'm going to get up to the desk, guys. We'll see you in
get out of here.
2 minutes.
Good luck with that. I hope those reports come. You don't have to wait again for 435, whatever, like Meta had done to you before. There goes Palantir right now. Nice move up to 180 again on day 2 of earnings. I mean, what is going to really stop this name? We talked about this yesterday. I don't know the answer to that question, so I pose it to all of you. And kind of rhetorically, I don't. It's upside there. At some point, valuation is going to matter, but as long as they don't miss, it's not going to matter. And right now, Palantir keeps on going higher as the talk of AI is still strong, and looks like the force is strong with this one. Of course, that's PLTR. Nice upside play to end the day. Looks like the ES will go out up 0.72. The Nasdaq 1.2. The diamonds, of course, which is DIA. This is going to be the Dow Jones. That's up today as well, but a little lacking there. We talked about some of the constituents over there, not the greatest. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with that big name coming through again. That is, of course, Dow Jones. UNH. What did UNH do? We saw Oscar today. I was actually pretty happy with that play. A new member of my portfolio, Oscar Health. But UNH, yeah, wow, another 2% downside again. So, yeah, people can't be too pleased trying to dip by some UNH. But I think there is some potential in that name as we move forward. So just watch out for that play. UNH down to 250, probably a buy. If you look at a monthly chart for this name, it's absolutely insane. So UNH, good look there for anybody interested in picking up some healthcare. But OSCR was a name that I bought yesterday, and it had a problem with that Sorry, that 1440 mark. We'll see if it can break there. But hey, man, we'll take it. We'll take 4% in a day right there. So it's not too bad there at all as we get ready to go with only, oh, yeah, that's right. We don't have that countdown button. So we are now 5 seconds late. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. We are now closed. Thank you, Adara, for that one. I don't know. That was one of the best things that's ever been built, is the fact that Neil and I didn't have to always hit the closing bell button. But again, thank you for the 1,000 likes. Thank you so much for all the kind words today in the chat. Thought we did some great trading for you. Rivian was a good one. SMCI, Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple, all for me. We didn't have a quick look. I'm not going to just run right over there. We're going to let Darren Neal get set up. But Open Door, I just want to talk about this real quick because it just flashed on my screen. The closing at the low of the day. So they tried to get it going with some reports there early on Open Door and OpenAI as well, but nice move to the downside there to close the day. Sorry about Open Door, as that is the door gets shut on that name. So we'll wait for Airbnb, a bunch of names coming through as well. Joby coming tonight. There's going to be some good earnings calls based on the reports that we feel are coming through. Tomorrow's Thursday. It should be a good one. Jobless claims coming tomorrow morning, so get ready for that to spike around again. All right, earnings are starting to come out now, so I'm going to throw it over to this desk, if that's okay, Fabian. It looks like we are getting the thumbs up. It's Neil Nadera. I'm Sean. Ciao till tomorrow.
To it is your market recap brought to you by Beta Pro, by Globex, and already we've got Duolingo moving to the upside. Get it, Duolingo. You're dripping in XP, everybody, and you use Duo. You know what I'm talking about. $12 to the upside, about a 3.5% move already, looking pretty solid. I have not seen the actual numbers. It's Duolingo, LYFT, and Airbnb are the first three big names that we're looking for on earnings here. And right now, it looks like we're going 1-for-1 because we want things to go to the upside, right? At least if you're a short seller, then hate to be in Duolingo right now. $15, $20. Now check that, $23. Wow. And continuing to rally, $27. Can we have 30? Can we have 40? Not yet. But Duolingo, flying.
I do have Duolingo. I'll quickly get to Symbotic as well. So they actually missed on EPS, loss of 5 cents per share versus 1 cent loss expected. Sales, 592.121 mil versus 533.549 mil expected. Sales guidance well below estimates for Q4. I just wanted to get through that because that was the only number I had initially. But now I do have Duolingo, so let's get to that. Q2 revenue, 252.3 million versus 240.7 million. That's a beat. Daily active users, 47.7 million. Monthly active users, 128.3 million. They're guiding Q3 revenue, Neil, between 257 million and 261 million. That is above estimates of 253 million. So good look. They also raised their fiscal 2025 guidance to 1.01 bill to 1.019 bill versus estimates of $997 million. So that's a nice beat as well. I'm seeing apparently they missed revenue estimates, but
I don't think they care right now.
I'm not sure. I want to. Yeah, it looks like I'm seeing they beat revenue, so I'll be careful with that. But yeah, good look here for DUOL. Let's see if I have anything else coming out, because right now
hit 15% to the upside on Duo there, so it's blowing it. It almost got to $400. $395 that just tagged. It looks like LYFT. Obviously, I haven't seen Airbnb yet, but LYFT with a bit of a shake and bake. Like LYFT popped $1, came right back, dropped 50 pennies, came right back, and is now dropping again, despite the fact, LYFT beat on the top. That's all I can see. I see they beat on earnings, but maybe they missed on revenue there. So LYFT, bit of a shake and bake action pumping through the top. All I saw is the EPS was a beat, and the revenue missed by a small amount.
LYFT missed sales.
Yikes.
I'm not seeing EPS. And then the other one we were waiting for at 4 was going to be Airbnb. And I do not have Airbnb. Oh, okay, I actually do have Airbnb. I have used a couple different sources, guys. So one of my sources, I do have Airbnb. Q2 earnings of $1.03 per share above estimates of 93 cents. Revenue, 3.1 bill versus 3.04 bill expected. That is a double beat. Gross booking value, also above estimates, 23.5 bill versus 22.71 bill expected. Nights and seats booked, that is actually a slight miss, 134.4 million versus 134.6 million expected. They did announce, though, a $6 billion share repurchase program. Their revenue guide, the midpoint does beat, but the lower end is below estimate. So kind of a mixed report here for ABNB. Generally, though, pretty positive.
It's definitely pretty positive, but like last time it moved 1 point, and I feel like it's doing it again.
It's not
This is
that exciting.
unfortunate. It's exactly flat. Oh, there you go, up a little bit, 0.2. It was flat a second ago. That's disappointing. You're expecting 8, then you know who wins in that particular case. Yeah, anybody that bet on a volatile move. Well, I guess it could move now, but anyone bet a volatile move, you're certainly getting punked on this one, and it did it last time as well. So Airbnb now to the downside. Lyft looking weak. Obviously, Duolingo, an absolute banger to the upside. 14% the last I checked. We're gonna have DraftKings and ELF.
4:15 for
DraftKings. Someone asked about DraftKings. They're not till 4:15.
Yeah.
ELF Cosmetics and DoorDash and Bros and Joby, Fortinet are all expected at 4:05, but DraftKings is supposed to be, now again, sometimes these things come out early, but they're supposed to be last to the party. But as far as I'm concerned, it's Duolingo's party. And I'm telling you, this is one of those things where if you use it a bunch, maybe you should just be in the stock. Actually, I shouldn't say this. I don't use it. My wife uses it every single day. My daughter uses it a ton. It's ridiculous how effective this is. $420 now. Now 22% to the upside on Duolingo. The implied move was 17%, and it still exceeded it, and we got DoorDash out.
I have ELF too. I'll start with Dash. Q2 revenue 3.288 billion, beating estimates of 3.16 billion. EPS 65 cents per share, well above estimates of 44 cents. Marketplace GOV 24.24 billion, above estimates of 23.58 billion. Their their outlook for that segment, there we go, English, is also above estimates for the next quarter. Let's talk about ELF. I'm getting a whole bunch coming out now. ELF Beauty. Q1 net sales, 353.7 mil versus 350.3 million. That is a beat, it looks like, for ELF. Adjusted earnings of 89 cents per share versus 84 cents per share expected. So that's a double beat, but Neil, they have some tariff concerns. They said they're not providing outlook for fiscal 26 due to uncertainty with tariffs, and they do expect their net sales for the first half of 2026 to exceed Q1's growth rate. So guidance is like kind of not bad, but also they're not providing guidance for the year. It's confusing. Fortinet, though,
might explain the dip because ELF was trying to go and then it kind of faded a little bit. Maybe it's because of that guide.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing that. But if ELF can hold 105, that's pretty big on the daily chart for anyone. We were talking about that in the afternoon, and it's still holding it temporarily. But you don't like to see that taking away the guide. You don't.
I have Fortinet though, and I also have Bumble, which wasn't even on my calendar. Let's get to Fortinet first because I think it is inarguably more closely watched. Adjusted earnings 64 cents per share versus estimates of 59 cents. Sales 1.63 billion versus 1.624 billion expected. A double beat for FTNT. Sarepta apparently reporting SRPT.
AppLovin's
out.
Okay. Well, it's dumping, so it's got to be. If the numbers aren't out, then someone's fat figured on App because we're down $50 on App, down 13%, and so I don't see the numbers either.
Me neither.
Like I'm sitting here just looking at the chart. It's got to. Obviously, they have to be out. Well, somebody online has posted something, which I don't know if I can trust it, but that can't. Okay,
that source is pretty accurate.
Well, if it's this, then it says that they beat on EPS and they beat on revenue. 239 on EPS versus 198, 1.259 billion versus 1.22 billion. So beat on the top and bottom lines of 21% and 3% respectively. I don't see any guidance. Revenue's down quarter over quarter, 15% based on those numbers. Maybe that's a reason, but this is not exactly the chart of a stock that just came out with a double beat. With this bad boy. That's not looking good. It's actually not looking very healthy. 340, if you look at the daily chart on App, that goes right back where we were chilling at back, I guess, like late June. So holding on to some support, but under the 50 period, big dump there on App. 11% now that it's bouncing a little bit, but no guidance.
Yeah, people are saying IONQ is out, and here we go. I'll talk about this because I'm not seeing the AppLovin numbers in front of me. IONQ, losses of 70 cents per share. That is well above estimates of the 27-cent loss, Neil. Then we have sales, 20.694 billion. It was million for IonQ, million. I should have added the M. 20.694 million versus estimates of 17.226 million. So that is a sales beat, but it is a disgusting EPS miss.
Well, here's the thing, Adara, don't even apologize for saying billion instead of million, because at the end of the day, if a company, when we're talking about, most of the names that we're talking about, you're not going to be mentioning revenues in the tens of millions of dollars when you've got billion-dollar valuations.
I'm talking about their guidance, too, because they did raise. And again, this is another situation where you don't see this type of guidance that often for the fiscal year, Neil, raising their guidance to 82 million to 100 million versus estimates of 84.261 million. So midpoint is a beat. Again, they did beat on revenue this quarter as well, but they're not making any money. That is readily apparent.
I want to make something very clear. IonQ has a $10 billion market cap. So go back to those numbers again. Pull those up.
Oh, sorry, give me a second.
And a lot of people, and look, I'll tell you this right now. We're invested in QBTS. So whatever. Like, I'm not crapping on these names. I'm just sort of telling the truth here. Their sales guidance is $75 to $95 million on a $10 billion market cap. This is an ultimate momentum play for well into the future. None of those, whether it's IonQ, whether it's Rigetti, whether you're talking about D-Wave, which, again, as I said, we own, it's like a pie in the sky, hope and pray type of trade. So you have anything that's weak, I'm surprised it's only down 2%. I would venture to say that coming in with that guidance miss, the fact that it's only down 2%, 2.5%, or now 3%, that's not that bad. Because these things, valuation-wise, are complete and utter nonsense when you really think about it. Like, people talk about, like, Palantir, and Palantir makes $1 billion at least, right? Like, they have revenues. These guys don't have revenues yet. They have a hope and they've got a dream, and they have some momentum behind them, so treat them with that respect. Obviously, we're still waiting on DraftKings.
I have Sarepta.
They're not going to be out just yet. Sarepta is out.
And it's making a notable move here, Neil. So in case you guys missed it earlier today as well, there was a report from a health technology, I guess, based news source called Stats News. They said that apparently Sarepta actually hired a Trump-backed firm to help deal with their Duchenne muscular dystrophy drug situation, which is really bad in case you guys don't know the details. But here is not that they hired the firm, their situation with their drug is bad. But here's the actual numbers. Q2 adjusted earnings, $2.02 per share, well above estimates of 67 cents. Sales, $611.091 million versus $528.39 million expected. So yeah, that is the look here for SRPT.
I got to give a big shout out to our good friend Nimrod. Sent 50 Trader TV Live gift memberships. Check that because he did it twice. So last I checked, that would be 100. And you can do math like that on Duolingo, I have found out. It's not just languages. But thank you so much, Nimrod. You're incredibly generous. We got a chance to meet you yesterday. I think you're coming by later on in the week, and we were able to do lunch. We have a fantastic community, everybody. And that's what it is all about here. Just a great dude. And look, everyone in our chat, we don't have very many negative experiences. Every now and then, someone might spam the chat because they want us to talk about it, but really, it's just a great community. Just to go back over, because I know like Duolingo caught a little bit of a seller at $430 here. Just wanted to show it caught a tiny sell and barely even pulled back. You're still 24% up, exceeding that expected move by 7 points on Duo. We mentioned ELF, just to recap what's going on over in ELF. That was a very, very nice reversal on ELF. ELF now taking off, up 10%. And remember, they did beat. I think it was, you'd mentioned the guidance. They withdrew the guidance. That headline, I guess when the top and bottom come out, the withdrawal of the guidance, that pushed it down a bit. It's right back to the upside and now 12% higher on ELF. So the reversal, the bamboozlement reversal actually at least has happened on ELF. That looks pretty bullish.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the ELF is off the shelf. Let's talk about JOBY, because this thing, to use another pun, absolutely not flying. Putting the volatile and eVTOL, but let's talk, that didn't even really work as a pun.
No, you didn't.
Q2 losses here, 41 cents per share, better than the expected loss of 19 cents. Sales, $15,000. Yes, Neil, you heard me right. $15,000 versus estimates of $43,000. Joby is a double miss, and yeah, that's not fun. And I'm sorry, world. But let's take a look here at
When your sales are why does the fundamental? This isn't about the fundamentals. It's got to be about the story and the growth. I get it, miss, and you're going to go down when the stock has done this. But if you're investing in this stock, this is like the quantum things. If you're invested in this, it's not necessarily about anything that they're doing right now. You're flat out, they're just not making money. But in truth be told, this stock is a triple up in the last couple months. So triple up last couple months, and anything weak, you can get 7% down. I would venture to say that for a lot of people, if you're in this from a long way, you're not even scared about that move, even buying those bottoms. I can't touch this up here on Joby, but that's crazy. And that's the thing. You're buying something like this for the future. So the question you got to ask yourself is, do you like it at this price, right? Because fundamentally, and this is the thing about fundamentals, and it doesn't PE and all that kind of stuff. It matters to an extent. But if you're looking for like the next big thing, the growth, you've got to be a bit more forward thinking than that. You just want to be believing in the story, right? So I understand it's down. I'm not telling anybody to go run out and buy Joby, 8% down here. All I'm simply saying is forget about the revenue numbers. Forget about that EPS nonsense. You're buying this thing because you think they have a fantastic future in 5 to 10 years, or 2 to 5 even.
Yeah, I mean, if we get DraftKings, I will absolutely, draw up and talk about that. Upwork, some people wanted, so double beat, earnings of 35 cents per share versus 28 expected, sales 194.939 mil versus 187.683 mil expected. Double beat, AppLovin. Let's talk about this. APP, revenue 1.26 billion, apparently versus estimates of 1.28 billion, though it is up. So it sounds like it's a slight miss here, but it is up 77% year over year. It's worth noting I've seen a couple different estimates for AppLovin, but either way, up 77% year over year. Earnings of $2.39 per share, resoundingly beating estimates of $1.95. Their guidance was kind of in line here, 1.32 billion to 1.34 billion versus 1.31 billion expected. And they're basically seeing here, Neil, their adjusted EBITDA margin is going to be the same on a quarter over quarter basis. That's never great when you're not really reporting growth, I guess, in margin. That's really the only thing in this report other than the revenue maybe being a miss that I can see. I have DraftKings, though. So let's talk about the Kings. Are they the Kings? Have they fallen? Are they peasants? They're DraftKings over here, Neil. They are to the upside. Q2 revenue, 1.51 billion versus estimates of 1.41 billion. Operating income, 150.6 million. Net income, 157.9 million. Adjusted EBITDA, $301 million. I'll talk about Dutch Bros in a minute, but yeah, I mean, DraftKings, great look.
Well, we're bullish on this one, no questions asked. But why is it not breaking out? It's from a seasonal standpoint, obviously, if you're a sports fan, from a seasonal standpoint, things are about to heat up. Why? Because football, and more football. Go Bills. Look, DraftKings, from a technical standpoint, gorgeous. This is going to be, I promise you tomorrow, we'll be talking about DraftKings. It's got to hold on to above the 46 level on this daily chart. No questions asked, but we're sitting at 48, so that's seemingly like a slam dunk that we're going to be in breakout territory on DraftKings, so I like it. I'm a little disappointed, like I said, disappointed in App, but I'm glad that it bounced back a bit, but you're right about that lack of growth. It's like the smallest thing. Margins weren't that good. Margin growth was bad. SMCI got destroyed. They had poor margins, different space, but at the same time, if there's the smallest thing wrong with the market at highs, you're gonna get hit a little bit. Yeah. So the report might not look all that bad, but it almost doesn't matter. I've never been to Dutch Bros. I've heard good things about them.
As have
a lot of people in our chat, but I know what a good-looking chart is, and a good-looking reversal on Dutch Bros. Up 14% now on Bros. Now this is oddly enough, this does not beat the implied move, by the way. The implied move is 15%. On Bros. So that's possibly turning into some resistance up top. Either way, it's a huge trend reversal on the daily chart for Bros. Yeah. Huge trend.
And I mean, this is a really good report, Neil. Q2 adjusted earnings, 26 cents versus 18 cents expected. Sales, 415.8 million versus 403.08 million expected. And they raised their guidance. Sales guidance for fiscal 2025 now is coming in at 1.59 bill to 1.6 bill, above estimates of 585 bill. And also, really quickly, Neil, if you don't mind.
Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean, nice, literally beat that. Before I go back to you, Neil, if you don't mind, I want to talk about AppLovin, because this is a stock that I even see people in the chat say like this stock is kind of scary. As someone who trades spreads, I will say myself, this thing has a tendency to be kind of memey. I've gotten to the point where I'm very comfortable with it, but this is the only over $300 stock that I have seen halt intraday, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, that was wild.
Like, that was insane. I'm trying to get filled, and all of a sudden the book goes great, and I'm like, I must be crazy. Why is this halted? I check, it is halted, and I'm like, it ended up being fine. I wasn't in it. It would have worked either way, but it's just so funny that like this is a stock I do really want to let people know like. It does require a certain amount of patience and trusting your instincts, because even like people talk about spready tickers being volatile, this is a different beast, I will say, with Apple.
100%.
As someone who likes trading it.
The thing you got to understand, like for certain types of stocks or companies, even on earnings, you do not expect it, even at the open, that it could halt.
Yes.
It's not.
And it wasn't even earnings when it did that.
It wasn't.
That was what was crazy.
I'm saying, even on earnings, you might expect it for that, but it's just not in the litmus, barring like a short seller report, something ridiculous happening. So when a stock falls in that category, as a day trader, this is one that you have to be cautious with. Does mean a lots of opportunities, no questions asked. There's a few people I haven't look. Ounce of Pain has said, can we go over Sunrun?
Let's do it. I have the numbers.
Sunrun, I don't love the space. It's been a heck of a lot of trouble. I think we all know that, but it is making a run to the upside, up 7.5%. Is this the time? I don't know, man. You'd love to hope it. You're finally actually holding, knock on wood, the 50 and the 200 period moving averages for Sunrun, but they are up after earnings.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I missed that.
My bad.
Yeah, because I feel like it was the handoff was a bit.
That's my bad.
Unique. I just want to mention here, guys. Apparently, the stream for Trump and Tim Cook announcing this new investment is coming up right now. I will not be able to cover it for you guys because it starts at 4:30. So because of that, I'm going to drop the link for you guys in the chat. So apparently, like, it's not that big of a deal. They're now going to invest $600 billion in the U.S. instead of $500 billion. I saw previously reported, apparently Tim Cook is in the White House. But let's talk about Sunrun, because it's not fair that Apple overshadows Sunrun. I want its moment in the sun.
Well, the thing is also, you had this story in the morning.
Yeah.
And your opportunity.
The stock moved in the morning.
When Adara gave you the story in the morning on Apple, your opportunity was to buy it long.
I didn't even give it because it came out before the show even started.
Well, okay,
crazy.
Fair enough. But
I actually told you guys on X, so I guess I did give it.
She put it out on X, and all day long you had a chance to talk about it. It's just weird to me, before we get to Sunrun, it's weird to me that just like, I have an announcement at 4:30 from the president, and then it gets broken in the morning, what the story is. They don't even wait. It's like, what was the point? We could have had Trump break it. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Sunrun to the upside. Like, at the end of the day, this is actually, it's a reasonable squeeze. It's a reasonable squeeze stock. That probably applies to the entire sector, and that's simply because they've been beaten up for so long. The good news here, I think, for them in the long, we're going to get rates coming down.
That's true.
Right, and that's a big thing for the solar names. If you can get rates going down, I think that could be something for them. Obviously, let's call a spade a spade. You would have liked the election to go the other way if you want to invest in these stocks. That's just how it is. But it didn't happen that way. So you're looking for some other reason for them to go. And I think maybe rates coming down could be the catalyst for Sunrun. It's not a very good looking chart, but at least for now, it's a good run in the aftermarket.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you guys want me to go over, so I'm going to try to go over them as quickly as possible. For one here, we actually have Dan in the chat asking, where can you find the infographics on the X account? Well, it's not the tradertv.live X account. It's TTV Research on X. We have all the infographics there, so definitely check that out. Sunrun, this is, I want to read this report because I'm very curious about this, $1.07 per share here versus expected losses of 18 cents. That's an unexpected profit for RUN. Sales, $569.336 mil versus $548.4 million. And I want to talk here. Let's look at all these names people mentioned to me. Odyssey Fights asking, was there news on QBTS? IonQ reported. That's probably what it is. Sympathy, though QBTS reports tomorrow morning, but not now. Marlon B wants to look at MET. I'll look at MET for you guys. Wow, that is a nasty move. MET. That is this is a double miss. So EPS, $2.02 per share versus $2.27 expected. Sales, $17.92 billion versus $18.57 billion expected. There was another one people were asking about that. Oh, Zillow. Zillow, I'm going to do a couple more quickly, Neil, if you don't mind. I'll take a look at Zillow here. down. This is, or actually now it's up. It was Benzinga was telling me it was down. It's up here. Q2 adjusted earnings 40 cents per share versus 42 cents expected. Sales 655 million versus 646.7 million expected. So EPS miss, sales beat as well.
I have to say one thing about Met.
Yes.
It's simply this. Johnny Blaze didn't get MetLife because it didn't pay today. And if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Johnny Blaze get MetLife because it pays.
I don't even know this.
Oh, come. You know what?
It sounds familiar.
I mean, and I'm not even gonna say it because there has never been.
It sounds
there has
so.
never
I feel
been.
like I know this.
You've never been stumped on a rap lyric, so I'm not even gonna say it. The chat can say it if you can say it if you want, but I'm 100% certain that Adair is gonna eventually get that.
I'm
for
very
sure. And yes, I am aging myself. I'm not trying to. I don't pretend. I'm sitting. I'm simply not going to pretend that I know all the new stuff. You can tell exactly right around when I was born by all the references that I drop, because I am who I am. I am who I am, and I likes what I likes. And I was about to say who that was, but I didn't want to give you a chance to be able to get it. I don't know what just dropped, but we have the renovations going on, everybody, and they're hard at work because they got to get the job done to make the studio even better.
Yeah, I'm happy I didn't have my hearing aid in for that one. I'm just going to say that for real. But I want to go over DraftKings one more time here. Q2 adjusted earnings 38 cents, well above estimates of 12 cents here expected. That's a beat. Sales also a beat, $1.51 billion versus $1.39 billion expected. DraftKings also affirming here their fiscal 2025 sales guide, 6.2 bill to 6.4 bill versus 6.275 bill expected. So their midpoint is just above estimates. Apparently CNBC continuing to report here about those meetings that these bank CEOs had potentially with the White House. They're giving us more details. Apparently, we did actually have a meeting here between the CEO, Jane Fraser of Citigroup, and Bank of America's Brian Moynihan. I don't know if they met with him at the same time, but apparently both met with Trump to discuss Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And shout out quickly to Bill Pulte, who's running these organizations, because his Twitter game is wild. He has been very focused lately on trying to get rid of our boy Powell, including to degrees that sometimes feel like maybe spreading false reports about Powell quitting. So, sorry about that, but gotta be honest here. But either way, the FNMA may be on watch. It doesn't really say what these meetings were about, but CNBC reporting that these meetings between bank CEOs and President Trump did occur.
Yes. I think the late addition that you had on the list, Occidental, I do believe we have, whoops, that's not XY, it's OXY is Oxy.
Yeah, we had those numbers.
Or Occidental, as I think I like to call it. Hey, guess what? It is possible for an energy name to go up. Not much, it's not exciting, it's 1%, but the former, look, this stock used to have the Buffett buy on it, and it was a heck of a lot more fun when it did. Because when this stock had the Buffett buy, all you had to do was wait for it to get to the mid-55s, buy it, and then rinse and repeat. And ever since it lost that, it's been kind of a dwindling name. But we do have earnings from Oxy. Yeah,
we do have earnings from Oxy. I'm going to see if I can get more details. This is all I have on this. I don't really have more. All I have in this, unfortunately, is just the numbers themselves. I'm still scrolling to see if I can get anything else. But I mean, we can talk about the numbers. There's nothing. Okay, I do have a little bit more. So, where's this operational metric? Okay, so apparently they have $950 million in additional divestitures completed since the beginning of Q2. That might be a good look. They did have a double beat, though. Q2 adjusted earnings, 39 cents per share versus 34 cents expected. Sales, $6.456 billion versus $6.354 billion expected. Double beat for OXY.
They double beat for them, but not the most exciting name, and energy has just not been that play. You do have to have some concern, man. If the labor market's going to be a bit weak and you have to worry about a downturn in the U.S. is not good for anywhere else in the world, and if that's not good, then demand becomes an issue, and the Saudis don't seem to care about how much they put out there. There's just a heck of a lot going on with the energy space, which is why, weirdly enough, outside of when Randy comes up to the desk, we almost don't talk about those names because they just have not been very good. But what has been good was the first name that we discussed today. Whoops, and then I typed Duo instead of Duo-L. I wanted to show the coolest chart out here. Duolingo holding up 415, 21% to the upside. We had a good reversal on AppLovin. Not all the way, but at least getting a good chunk of the move back. I think the best reversal on these earnings plays was, if you're talking about a name that's just going all over the place, it's ELF. Like, ELF went down, ELF broke out, ELF came back, and it's right back to where it started, down 0.5%. Like, it's wild. It was at one point, ELF was up 10%, and now it's right back to down 0.5%. I don't know, you pull the guide and no one knows how to trade this thing because we don't have any guidance on it.
That's
Apparently
fair.
that's what it means here because everything else on ELF was pretty solid, but there was just that pull of the guide, like you said, which is not the end of the world. Tariff uncertainties, you're seeing a little bit more of that. Or if they're not sure what they can project in terms of environment, then they just don't do a guide, and that's all.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly respond here to Gravel Cult in the chat. We did cover Airbnb already. The biggest issue here was their guidance was mixed, and they did miss on experiences and booking nights. So they reported a little bit. I believe it was 134.4 million they reported. They were expecting 134.6 million. I want to go over two reports, Neil, if you don't mind, before we let everybody go. Honest Co. HNST. These are just based on things I'm seeing people ask for in the chat. So earnings here, 3 cents per share versus 1 cent expected. Sales, 93.459 mil versus 92.207 mil expected. And they reaffirmed their guidance. That guidance is a little bit mixed, but the midpoint is looks like more or less aligned with estimates. Let's talk quickly about Energy Transfer because, man, if I was long, I might want to Energy Transfer to a different stock. I'm joking. It actually didn't move too much, but the numbers are really bad. So I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anyone in this name. They missed sales by like $2 billion, Neil. 19.24 billion versus basically 22 billion expected. So that's pretty big. Energy Transfer earnings also missed 32 cents versus 38 cents expected. Much like Sunrun, this is a report I want to read because I have some questions about these numbers. Yeah.
How are they only down 0.7 on Energy Transfer?
Why I assume they'd be
crazy.
done.
That's a big miss by them. But hey, Duolingo was amazing. As look, we have renovations going on, everybody. So shout out to that. The studio is going to look fantastic, but there's a lot going on. And Adara, rapid fire. During earnings season, the work that Adara puts in is absolutely on fire.
Thank you.
I want to give a big shout out to our entire crew. Thank you again, Nimrod, for the 100 memberships. You're absolutely, look, we love all of our community. You're doing a fantastic service to everybody, and you're so generous and so kind. But it's roll call time. Whoa, wait a minute. We got a super chat from David Tretiak there. Is that a studio or an escape room? Oh, I haven't done that in so long. We should do, escape rooms are a lot of fun. We should do it as a team. TraderTV Live should do an escape room thing.
Please.
It's like as a year-end party, so that'd be a great idea.
I did one when I was in Winnipeg, and it was so fun, and we escaped the room.
It's a
and I was like,
it's like, I don't know, man. It's like you feel like a kid again. Anyways, that being said, everybody, if you haven't done so, make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the like. Most importantly, that subscribe. So you can get in the chat right now. We can get the rundown in. Dara's going to drop some hot fire like Johnny Blaze.
thank you. I'm going to get into that. Yeah. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sharif. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Fabian, Ramin, Andre. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Marlon B, really quickly, I just want to mention, asking about LYFT. They missed on sales. They beat on earnings per share. Gravel Cult, MOTP Media, Big 40 Nephew. We have David Tretiak, Marlon B again here, Neil in the chat, Marie SL, we've got Canadian Nemesis, I like that one, Bewong Media, Jai Singh, Notorious Dingleberg, Grov, MOPT Media again here, Green Day, Dean, SK, Damien Tarza, Rajesh Miglani, T. Hyde, Volky, Ongoing News, Marek, we've got shout out The Office, Heartbroken Biker, and thank you, Nimrod, again for the donation. And shout out to everyone who's in this awesome community. We'll see you guys tomorrow with even more earnings, including my favorite, reporting before the bell.
Eli Lilly, if anybody doesn't know, that's Adara's favorite stock. We all hope it goes up, and we'll trade it either way, and we'll give you the news either way, because that's what we do here. We're TraderTV Live. It's been your market recap show brought to you by Beta Pro. We'll see you tomorrow morning, and maybe we won't have the jackhammer. Bye, guys. I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.